Looking live at Live Trading with Benzinga, Spencer, Zunaid, Ryan, Mitch will be here in a few. What's up, guys? How we doing? You excited for today? It's Fed Day. It's a big day.
Yeah. I am. I mean, I'm excited to see what happens. Excited, nervous, anxious, all of those rolled up into one nice little package this morning. It's great.
Balls of emotion. Okay.
Balls of emotion, man.
What is it at 2:00?
2:00 is the announcement. 2:30 is the presser, which is probably more. Well, it is more entertaining and probably more informative. But yeah, normally, like I'll be honest, I'm not like a big Fed guy. I'm not a big macro guy. But there are every so often, every few years, there is the planets line up in a way that makes one Fed meeting more important than all the other ones, and that's what this is today. This one is.
Yep.
The market is, this one is so important now. And that's why we're all here for it. So we will be streaming that later today. But we got a lot to get to until then. Obviously, things are expected to be quieter, expected to be lighter volume as everyone kind of sits on their hands and waits and sees. But that does not mean there are not things to trade, things going up, things going down. And we can discuss all of that right now. So let's roll our intro here. Where is our intro? There
Mitch messed it up.
I got it.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Kiana.
Fisher. Choi.
Joe. Cards drawn are the past, ones to come are future.
And the best part? It's beatable.
You know what I just realized while that video was playing, and I'm an idiot? I just realized that, like, the implication, the reason Mitch probably chose that specifically, that movie, was because, like, the parallels between the casino and the trading, and, like, they beat the casino and you can beat the market.
Wait, you're just realizing that in the moment right now?
Yes. They beat the casino and you can beat the market. That's the reason.
Okay.
Water is wet.
What? Oh, what?
I mean, I don't know what to say to that. You're awesome, though, Spencer. So we're just going to keep rolling here.
All right, we're going to keep rolling anyway.
I hear, I'm just kind of going through the chat here real quick before we get started. XRP Fresh, Walmart still pumping. Dude, how long on Walmart are you? Honestly, every day it's about Walmart. We're up another $1 here on $140 stuff. How long are you? Seriously, how long are you on Walmart? I'm curious. How do I turn my noisemaker in BZ Pro? I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm going to need way more specifics than that, but I am happy to help you.
Yeah, Winter Pegs, clarify what your noisemaker is. I would love to know as well.
So real quick, I'll give you guys a real general tip that'll take less than 30 seconds. In Benzinga Pro, there are 3 locations where you can set an audio alert. So we're going to cover them real quick. The first one is in the upper right corner of your platform. That's it. There's a little alarm bell there. If you click on it, in here, you have the ability to set an audio alert for any news category. So review this list and make sure they all say none. That's part 1. Part 2, let me go ahead and open up the new tool. Part 2 is going to, or excuse me, location 2 is going to be in your watch list. You're going to see a very similar icon to what we just saw in the upper right corner here at the top of the watch list. And this allows you to set a sound alert for any piece of news on any stock on your watch list. Here's what gets most people. Each watch list can have its own setting. So if you have 10 watch lists, make sure you select all of them and click on the alert bell to make sure that you don't have those sounds set. Finally, the last place in Pro that's going to be able to make noise is your Signals tool. Open up your Signals tool, click on the notification tab, and you'll have either a sound or a synthesized voice. I hope that helps.
Is the synthesized voice, it's different than, like, I've heard it, but it's been a while. It's different than, like, Siri, right? Because Siri annoys the living crap out of me.
Yeah, it's like a computerized voice.
Okay.
But it's not the same voice actor as Siri. So you're good.
Good deal. All right. So while we're on Ryan's screen, Ryan, you want to show us what you're looking at this morning? Because I had expected today to be a snoozer, but we actually do have some pre-market gainers and losers. We actually had some news this morning. So what's on your radar today?
So my radar is going to be the Fed, pretty much just the Fed. I would say that if we get any types of plays that are based off of volume and popping off of the scanner, those would be something kind of disconnected from what we're expected to see this afternoon. But for the most part, for all intents and purposes, I'm not really going to be doing much of anything until I have an idea of what is going to get said later today. So I'm just kind of watching and waiting for smaller-ish plays. Now, I do the same thing I do every morning, no matter what's going on, is I come in here and I come and I check the movers tool. And I basically want to know what's going up. So you had said that we had some pre-market movers today. Looks like CMC Materials here. Looks like it's going to be acquired. BFRI, this has actually been one that has been kind of a big trader for us off of the scanner. The last several sessions, looks like that's gapping up today. I'm sure we'll watch that out of the open. GRTX, this was actually being traded by our happy hour crew last night during the happy hour. Pretty awesome. So this has multiple firms upgraded the stock with bullish ratings and price targets. Remember, those ratings and price targets are normally 12 months. However, we might see some movement from this stock today. So again, this will be another littler stock that we can kind of scalp and keep ourselves protected before the Fed. So I'm basically just going to keep rolling through the movers here. I don't see a lot of tickers that jump out. Vero here, for example, not something I'm going to trade. A lot of these are very thin and kind of making very small moves on little volume. What did you have? And CFVI, I guess, is another one here. This is gapping up a little bit on heavier volume. What did you have?
What did I have? The focus for me this morning was on the Fed until we could start getting like a bunch of random guidance headlines on morning. We got Lowe's with guidance, Eli Lilly with guidance, Nucor with guidance. So steel is down this morning because of Nucor. If you look at X, if you look at CLF, they're all down off a Nucor headline. So that's in focus now. Home Depot and Lowe's are in focus now because Lowe's gave some guidance for next year. So we got some movers and we got some ratings. Our Roblox gave guidance as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they're down. So actually, it wasn't guidance so much as it was backward-looking November numbers, I believe, monthly active users and that sort of thing. So Roblox. So we have some movers. So I'm interested in all of that.
Interesting thing about Roblox here. This is one of those companies. Obviously, we've had kind of a huge run here, and I suspect that if the growth names and tech names continue to get hit, Roblox might have some more downside for it. The one caveat that I will say, and obviously this is anecdotal, but this is something that we've been taught to pay attention to by analysts, people that review stocks professionally. Again, this marks 3 weeks in a row now that when I've gone to Costco, there has been a congregation of children around the Roblox gift card thing in Costco. So clearly the product is popular. How that's going to translate to the actual stock price, not too sure, especially given the market conditions, but definitely still very, very popular.
Interesting. Is Roblox the new... I don't know. Like the only thing that kids care about, or maybe I don't know. Okay, Zunaid, what are you looking at this morning?
I don't have that much, to be honest, just because I feel like everyone is just waiting for the Fed, right? So there's not much happening, at least on my side of the world. Yesterday was so boring for me that I pretty much traded SPY.
Nice.
Like that's usually, and that was only mainly because it was off of that whole number of 460 as you see on the right hand side. But anyway, I'll just be kind of taking a look at Apple and just seeing how it reacts. You know, here's something crazy I want to do. I want to set a stop limit order at 158 or so, maybe like a little bit above where SPY is at the time and a little bit below as well at the time, so that if there is a wild spike, I can get filled and maybe be profitable whichever way it goes. Obviously, I would get screwed if it goes ahead and spikes down, fills me, and then it spikes up and then fills me, and then I get screwed one way or another. So that's something crazy I'm going to try today, maybe with like one contract just to see how that experience goes. But that might be the only thing that I'm prepping for, because there's nothing else that I really see. I was looking at Roblox for a $100 bounce, but that puppy just went ahead and went below $100. So that's not going to be valid anymore for me. But Apple, if it tries to come down, if we try to get to the 172.50 area, then I will go ahead and grab some, because you can see that was yesterday's lows. Same thing with SPY around the 460s, where I would go ahead and try to grab some. Maybe around below 462.50, I can go short. But honestly, at the moment, I'm not really seeing much. And I'm just going to wait for the flow to tell me which way to go, see what type of news we get, and then just kind of go from there. Nothing too crazy on my part of the world.
All right. Mitch will be on in a second. He's getting his technology up in order.
I made it.
You made
Did
it?
you get your orange juice, pal?
No, I didn't. It's not that kind of day. I'm
okay.
actually having more audio issues. So
No, you're all good. You sound all good to us.
yeah, no.
You do sound good right now. And the other positive note, I had orange juice for you, so we're good.
All right, pinkies up. That's all that matters, really.
Let's go.
But definitely. I'm going to end up getting a mixer, guys, so that I can solve this issue.
I'll be right back. I'm going to get some orange juice. Seriously, I'll be right back.
You better put it on camera if he comes back with orange juice. That's all I got to say.
Right?
Oh, man.
Don't worry. I'll put him on if he doesn't. But definitely, guys, I'll get a mixer to solve this issue. It's really just a whole bunch of audio things. But definitely, let's get it started. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about some stocks out there. Definitely going to be looking for some more shorts. Yes, I said it, guys. Shorts is what I've been doing, and it's been working out, right? This week, been doing really well. Yesterday, I had a killer trade on MasterCard. If you guys remember, I was actually calling it out in the chat. I'm going to be looking for this to break down 339 again. If this could break down 339, I will get short again on MasterCard. Yesterday, nailing it down from about 346 all the way down towards 342. And then this one actually went down all the way to 339. We'll look for a bounce to 343s and then another flush down. Yesterday, we got a lot of what I call green to red moves. So definitely this is brought to you by Orange Juice. And that's no offense, but that's the worst orange juice.
I did not buy this. I would never buy this. I would never buy this.
Right? Would you agree? The worst orange juice?
Yes, it is. It is the worst. I would never buy this.
Full disclosure, I'm an orange juice snob. I don't drink anything out of a carton. I fresh squeeze it every morning.
Oh my gosh. Damn.
The reason is
because
because you can actually get folic acid from that, which you can't get in the orange juice that's been bottled because it deteriorates over time. And folic acid is good for people that lift weights. Sorry.
All right. Well, to me, it's more
We just got nerdy.
Simply orange juice, but I think Ryan said it best there. Let's keep going. Let's take a look at some of these stocks out there. I know a lot of people are talking some stocks. We didn't get to cover some stocks on pre-market prep. So if you guys got some stocks, throw them on up, guys. We'll take a look at them. Did you guys already get into Apple? I'm sure you guys probably covered Apple already.
Apple, we did not.
No, we did not.
Surprising.
Yeah, I did. You don't even pay attention, but go ahead.
Oh, no, you talking about it for 5 seconds?
I said Apple 172.50 level is where I'm looking for a bounce. You know what?
But it was so quick.
Listen, Mr.
It was
Orange
so
Juice.
quick.
I'm gonna need you to drink that disgusting orange juice. All right, but Mitch, go ahead with your Apple move.
Yeah, so to me, Apple was trading in kind of like, if you look at the 5-minute, you'll see kind of this bearish pattern that we were in. You can see it right here going sideways, right? And then you can draw a trend line from this bottoming point and kind of draw it back. We'd want to see it crack that support of 173.93s. I wouldn't want to see it back there by 173. If it does get down towards 173, I'm going to be looking for some shorts. So for Apple right now, it's been one of the strong names, right? If we look at the daily, we had a down move yesterday, but it's overall been in strength. So this is a really kind of more of a market indicator for me. You know, if Apple's going to turn around, I'm going to be really concerned about the market. If it doesn't, it gets back into the green. Yeah, then we could still hold to SPY, you know, and I'm going to be looking to see what happens in Apple. Of course, Tesla also very important here. Tesla's been trying to break through, get to 900. It actually got towards a low here of 896 on that Tuesday. We could come down and take that out again. We'll see what happens here. I think we're going to get back into that bubble space closer towards 930s, 900s, touch one more time before we get a bounce there. And so I'm going to be looking for Tesla to get short here, but also big thing here is for a reaction, right? We want to see bigger moves. If you look at Tesla, it's been kind of trading in a range from the 13th until right now. It's kind of in this longer bearish pattern. Let's see what happens. Does it take out those 930s today, or does it come back up to the 976 area. If I do see 976 break on the upside, you could trade it maybe for a breakout towards 1,000. And so I'll keep keeping an eye out on Tesla. MasterCard was a short yesterday. I'm going to look at that. Big thing for that, I'm going to look at Square. Square is really close to the daily lows. So these payment stocks, it's actually showing up slightly below this low now. This low is 170.75. Now we're showing up on the bid side of 169.12. If that doesn't hold, watch out for these payment stocks. I'm going to be looking to short these. Visa is another one on my radar. Has a low right around here, around 207.93. So 208 would be the short mark. Look for the potentially maybe a little fake out at the open. Look for a little push up to test the resistance and then fail. So let's see a push towards, let's say, 211s and then just crush through that 209 on Visa. That's what I'll be watching. Seeing Walmart mentioned in the chat. So I want to touch some of those stocks that are touched in the chat. If you guys see anything mentioned in the chat, let's go ahead and mention those. We didn't get to cover too many stocks in pre-market prep, so I want to make sure that we cover that before the bell here. Multiple times to get through this 150. Nice turnaround, holding that 135. I say you watch Walmart today, Target on upside moves. We'll see if these can kind of follow and make continuation moves on up. For Target, I would look for a move above 238 and then look for a pullback closer towards that 235.
You know, real quick, Mitch, you were talking about Apple. Apple seems to be the safety trade as of late, right? Everything else getting shelled, growth getting killed, but people are still hiding out in Apple because it's not really growth. It's not cheap enough really to be value yet. So it's kind of that hiding out part, or that hiding out stock. And to your point about watching that as a market proxy, totally agree. We start seeing big outflows of money in Apple, look out in the rest of the market. I'll be watching that as well.
Definitely. Let's go ahead. You guys, if you guys see charts or patterns out there, don't be afraid to call them out. Yep. Whether you're right or wrong, this is what I want. It's like exactly like was given in this message in the chat. I see an ascending triangle. He gave the time frame and 2 time frames that he sees it on. That's what it's all about. That's going to help other traders go ahead and look to see if they see the same pattern. And that's what it's really all about. We're trading as a community, and let's keep it going.
All right, before we get to the open here, I do want to do a quick crypto update and take a look at the heat map. Where's my bumper?
Let's do it.
Not in the brand, Mitch. No bumper. All right. Contrary to what you may have seen on CoinMarketCap yesterday, no, Bitcoin is not worth $1 trillion. ETH is not worth $1 trillion, but they are up this morning. So, hey, that's something. Bitcoin's up 1%. ETH is up 1%. Doge back down to 17. That was such a fade the news move yesterday in Dogecoin off the Tesla headline. So back to 17 cents we go in Doge. All the majors mostly green, so that's something. And I don't know if you guys saw. Are you referring? Do you understand what I was referring to when I the $1 trillion thing, the CoinMarketCap thing? Do you guys?
Yeah, the glitch that they had, that everyone thought they were a trillionaire as well.
Yes, for a brief moment of time, we were all billionaires. It's true. All you had to do was go look at.
I wasn't one.
The screenshot. Here, let me zoom in here. Let me zoom in. It may be hard to see. This freaking thing is in the way. How do I get rid of that? God. I can't. Thanks. Anyway, it said Bitcoin was at $789 billion. ETH was at $39 billion with the B. It is not there. That is wrong. But it was fun to think that for a second. So, as a reminder, if you want free Bitcoin, it's not going to be worth $789 billion, but it'll be worth $50 because that's the amount you will get for free. All you have to do is download the Voyager app. When you open your account, you use the code ZING, Z-I-N-G. You fund your account with at least $100, and you make your first trade. And then upon doing that, they will send you $50 in Bitcoin for free. Check it out, Voyager. All right. We got 2 minutes and change until the open. We got anything happening? And I am going to hop off at the open because I have a meeting. But do we have anything happening in the last few minutes? Not really. CCMP is my biggest gainer today. My biggest loser is this CALT. I don't know. Calditas Therapeutics. My biggest loser today. It's what I got on my movers to on Benzinga Pro.
Well, we all know Spencer sometimes likes to be a little peaker. So,
What?
McAllister. I'm the king of the cool Get out of here, you nosy little pervert!
That actually looks like you. I'm a little disgusted, Spencer.
Yeah, that's
That's one of the few movies I think where the sequel might be better than the original.
You think Home Alone 2 is better than Home Alone?
that's a good battle right there. I kind of it's a hard one. I gotta.
The reason I may think that is because for whatever reason that's the one that I grew up watching, not the original. So I've obviously seen all of them. But yeah, you're right. I'm going to stand by that statement. I think 2 is better than 1.
That's totally fine, but your opinion is wrong.
Okay. Well, see, you know what's funny?
I guess it depends on the context.
No, here's why we think that, because Ryan is in Chicago, where the first one takes place.
Oh,
And I'm from the East Coast, where the second one takes place.
Actually, I didn't even think about that, but that's a really good point.
That's why we
right.
think that.
I mean, we all know your favorite scene is the scene with Trump, right? So I would assume that's why you like Home Alone 2. He's not in the first one; he's in the second one.
That's right. All right, wait, Connor, we're bringing it back. Huge candle on Apple. Where
Apple?
Connor?
I mean, it's up 70 cents from the last 10 minutes.
Come to know, I own SoFi. It is a small piece of my portfolio. Of the couple of things that I'm selling for tax loss purposes this year, SoFi is not one of them. This is
You're gonna hold it.
This is the benefit of being small, right? And it's such a small position for me. You got to have some growth. You got to have some long term Hail Marys out there. SoFi is mine. So yes, it is at 14. What was the low of the move from August? It was 13 something, I think. Like the high 13. So we're knocking on the door of the lows. It's not great. I definitely wouldn't. I'm not going to average down. But we do have some support to lean on here. My thesis is not changing. It's a fundamental one. It's not a technical one. It's not a chart one. So that's what I got on SoFi, but I'm not selling. That is the opening bell. I do have to hop because I have a meeting. Everyone, good luck today. I will see you guys on Benzinga Live in a few hours. Go make some money.
Don't get fired.
I won't get fired. Or I may not. I don't know.
No, Spencer is way too important to be getting fired. Come on.
Big facts. Big facts.
Big facts.
All right, guys, like always, one thing I will let you guys know is we are live right now, guys. So you guys do us a favor. Definitely support us as we support you guys. Hit up that like button. I want to see everybody going and hitting that like button. Let's start it off. Let's keep going, guys. We need to keep growing, and we grow here a lot on you guys out there. So definitely, if you guys can hit the subscribe, hit the bell, you'll be notified the moment we go live.
BFRI right out of the gate. First move here is up. The daily resistance 1 is 714. So no trade until we get over that. If we bounce, we'd probably want to bounce off the lower VWAP channel, which I got at 645. So we're in no man's land right now. What's going on, Judge? Good morning, my man.
All right, guys. So to me, this is a nice hourly pullback here. Rounding bottom, resistance is around here, right around where we're at right now, $7. So above this, I'm going to look for a quick pullback to 675s, but nothing below that. This BFRI, I might actually get in a trade on this one. I'm going to look for it right now. So what we did is in pre-market, we kind of pushed above this. I want to see a pullback towards maybe even 650s here and then coming back through 7. I think this is a little bit of a fake out right here. I'm not going to get into this move. I'll look for the pullback and then the breakout through 7. SPY starting to head down, kind of what I wanted to see for shorts. So let's go ahead. Let's start shorting, guys. MasterCard starting to break that 339. I might get short MasterCard. Let's go ahead and try to see if I can get 339 on the bounce right now, and I'll get shorted.
Yeah, if you want to try to short something, you can also take a look at Roblox as it's trying to get over $100. That's usually that support. Now it's going to be resistance since it's below. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. Apple went ahead and made a nice move to 176, and now it's dipping on down.
Apple cracking. I might short Apple too. I like that green to red. Remember, I talked about it. I wanted to look for stocks that were going green right at the bell and then really quickly flushing through the support. That's what I'm going to be looking for. If Apple could break 174 on the downside, we'll start looking for a VWAP fade type of trade there.
First move here for the broader market is down. I see some of the banks trading down as well. That's obviously we're clearly waiting. Yeah, JPM and Goldman Sachs both down. Obviously, we're going to be waiting for what they actually say today. But some of these initial moves, maybe they tip their hand. Who knows?
Yeah, I think what you might see is an actual weak opening, and then when the Feds actually come on, a push up. So they flush the market a little early, and they expect that kind of move, and then they kind of capture everybody thinking bearish by raising the market in the afternoon. So that's what I'm looking for quick moves down here, and then I'll look for actually positive moves tomorrow. But we'll see.
And if you've followed Fed decisions on like FinTwit before, you've heard the term the first move is always wrong, right? Whether it's a sell-off first that ends up closing higher. They love to do head fakes on Fed days. Always keep that in mind. One of the other things we'll be watching is the VIX, right? We're sitting up here at 22. Our first move today on the VIX was up, but we're not really at a level of any concern as of yet. Yesterday's high was 23. So get above that was something.
All right, guys, going to look for a little push above 210s here for Visa, and then I'm going to get short.
Roblox has come in a test low of day so far around that $97 level.
BFRI took out that resistance and popped. So took out 714 on volume. I got a high 738.
Yeah,
that's
and yesterday's
VWAP channel as well. So that
I
was a little too slow to hit that one. I didn't hit that one, even though I had it on. Damn.
Yesterday's high is 791. So whoever is playing that one, just note that.
Yep.
The electric trade calling out a nice short in Roku. That one's been a beautiful one and gave you a gift when they bounce back. So power to you guys. All right, guys.
BFRI has an $11 price target, by the way.
Trying to get short Visa here. Didn't get my fill there at 210. A little annoyed. I had an order out there at 210.11s. No fill there. Might have to short the 209s here. Didn't like that I didn't get that fill there, so I'm looking for a little bounce back here, but it's looking like it's already trying to flush through. I missed that pop there. I was looking forward to get it filled there, but the ask and the bid went way wide and just nothing filled there. No volume went in.
BFRI going for that 750 level. We'll see if it takes it out here. Top of the VWAP channel, standard deviation channel 752. Pfizer, we have pushing off the open. BlackBerry's pushing. BlackBerry actually had news this morning, some deal with a BMW auto. Let me see if I can grab it for you. BlackBerry QNX to be used for future BMW group driver assistance programs. So that's a nice little headline there.
All right, Square broke down too, so I'm definitely looking for these Visa shorts and that kind of trade. The question is, can I get bounces to short off VWAP? Don't want to be shorting into weakness. That's not what I like doing. I like shorting into strength here. So we'll see if we get some bounces so I can short. Did Apple crack that support yet? Nope. Back up to the resistance. That's why I didn't want to get short Apple unless it really cracks support.
Exactly.
You don't want to overly move into a stock that's been going bullish and try to call it short. It needs to really break down for you to be trying to get short on Apple right now.
You don't want to be that hero. Completely agree with that, Mitch. I think that's really good advice. You know, real quick on Square, you were just talking about Square breaking down. We had actually talked about this a couple of days ago, both on this show and the afternoon show. 171 was the spot on Square, right? So if you actually flip to my screen here real quick, you can see 171 was some pretty good support. We actually cracked that to the downside. We are continuing that now. So depending on what your time frame is or what your trade time horizon is, if you're short, this looks to be still pushing.
All right, guys, beautiful trades right out there. I called for Visa and MasterCard out the gates. I just couldn't grab them. You guys saw me. I tried to get short there on both of them. Look at Visa breaking there towards the 208. MasterCard also breaking. You look at Square. Square was the one that we were going to look. Why? Because it's breaking through a daily low, showing us momentum in the industry to the downside. Above 171.24s, we would look for maybe a sideways day or maybe a bullish day for these names. PayPal is another one you can watch to see if you get some weakness towards that 179 low. You take out that low, you're going to see a lot of these start continuing that move down. Definitely Visa was a nice one there. Tesla is popping too right out the gates there. I saw that pop up. So remember what I talked about. We want to see it go through 930s on 950s on the downside. Right here, we're pushing towards 975. You could get the push towards 1,000 here. So just be careful there. Definitely a strong candle there for Tesla right out the gates there. And this is why you always got to be really careful whenever you're shorting stocks that are essentially still bullish. If you look at the daily, Tesla's still not in a bearish trend, right? And so just be careful whenever you're going after those bullish charts to go short.
God, BFRI is real strong. Just went right through 50 like it wasn't even there. Big size printing BFRI. Nice if you took that. If you took the BFRI trade, I'd at least book some here because this thing's wild. If you think it's going to go higher, that's fine. 825 was your high from the day before yesterday. High from yesterday, Mitch called it out earlier. 792, I think, is what I had here on the screen. So those are going to be the next spots we're looking at here. But if you had some, book it. It was a nice trade.
I think you're running into the hourly trend line right now in BFRI. Yep. So that's why you're seeing some slowdown there at 750s. So it's okay to have that slowdown. Hold 7 on pullbacks. One thing that does point good is that you see here, this is my intraday money flow indicator. It's just taken above the 0 is positive. Look how it was holding below this all throughout now and just broke out. So that's a really good sign there, at least. So what I'd do is I'd go shorter time frame, see if it holds that 0 line. And then you can go even shorter, hold that 0 line, even shorter, hold the 0 line, right? That shows you that momentum is continuing and money's going upwards. But if this 1 minute breaks below 0, then you could also work backwards. Does the 5 break the 0? Does the 15 break the 0? That's a good way of kind of trying to tell a story by using multiple time frames to find out how the trend is continuing in your stock.
I think what's interesting so far with the market, we got the Dow pounding the low, we have banks pounding the lows, and we have Apple near flat, right? We've got the Q pretty much near flat. Let's take a look at Google. You know what else you should take a look at is Microsoft, because they really took a hit past couple of days. Microsoft even today.
All right, trying to get some short Visa here. Let's see if I get filled here. I'll let you guys know. Good Lord, Visa. Oh my God, so annoyed. Good Lord, dude. The bid just gets flushed out every time. I tried to get in there. I literally put out the order at 209.60s. It was on the ask, and all of a sudden, boom, back to 209.20s.
Almost makes you wonder if you should just mark it to short.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, but it's just, you know me. I try to stick to my rules. My rules say limit on entries no matter what. On outs, absolutely. I'll use maybe a market order, but if my rule says limit, I got to stick to the limit. We'll see if I get a fill.
Yeah, I mean, when you use a market order on a fast-moving stock, there's no telling what they're going to do with it, right? You're telling them that you guarantee.
I know that a lot of people think that you get good or like fills on market orders, but that's all good until that one day where you get the horrible fill.
Yep.
And then you're going to be going after the brokerage. Why did you do this to me? No, the truth is you did it to yourself by taking market orders.
And real quick, Steve calling PTPI. PTPI had a real rough day yesterday, but it is moving today. First move up here. We are actually at the daily pivot today. We're above it now. So 351 would be my first target if this continues.
All right,
Not in it, by the way.
Let's take a look at the hourly chart. So you can see on this one, what do we get? We get a huge range, really. I mean, if you kind of pull this to the bottom and you kind of use this, you can see how you spiked up here, then you gapped up. then you gap down, then you gap up, then you gap down. As long as it stays within these ranges, it's still kind of in this bullish trend here. But you want to see it start ripping. $4 is that price point where we would see a big price push. So you can see there's even, if you go further back on the hourly, there's this push. And so you got 1, up 1, down 1, up 2, down 2, up 3. As long as it can hold support at 221, it's still in a bullish trend, trying to get back up there towards the 460s. That's what I see on the daily. And you can see it also a little clearer. Pop, pullback, pop, pullback, pop, pullback. Just needs to hold support and could try to take out 4. Yeah, Visa is just like one of those that's just going to piss me off today.
Apple is just so indecisive.
If there's one thing that I get upset about, guys, is having plans and not executing them. If there's one time you're going to see me get a little bit of my weakness to show in emotions, it's having that exact trading plan, knowing where my entry should be. The moment happened and I didn't strike. What happens now is it just creates a whole bunch of mess in your thinking. Because now I'm like, now I want to get in. You never should want to get in. It should always be on levels that you literally are calling objectively, and it should just hit. Either you get in or you get out. That's the truth of the trade. Now, if I'm getting in, what is the probability of it going right back down? It's actually lower than it was on the first move. The first move had a higher probability of going to the low of the day than the move would have now if it bounces to VWAP. So essentially getting myself in a lower probability trade by not executing on my plan. So here, you know what's going to happen, guys? You see these hands? I'm going to sit on them. Boom.
You've got someone asked about Lucid. Below the if the 10-minute closes below 39 or around 39, right? Let's just say below 39, I would look for a short with a stop loss over VWAP. You can start nibbling on some shorts right here as it's below VWAP. Matter of fact, let me see.
Stress really talking about Boeing short. Looks like that might continue to break down.
Yeah, let's see.
Boeing getting crushed.
I'll grab some $39. I'll grab some $39 puts on Lucid. Got filled at $1.83. Stop loss will be above VWAP. So thank you for whoever called that out.
All right, so for Lucid, I would look for an actual pop back maybe towards the VWAP to get short, or a flush down here through the 39. That's what you want to see, the flush down. A little bounce here is not a bad thing, but definitely it's trading below the 39.60s, which is a prior support. We'll see if that can hold there. I've been watching that level to see if we were going to get back below 40s. Today we broke 40, and what did we do? We popped right back to that level. That's why it was so important to see that level. Now I'm going to look to see what happens there, but definitely not a bad trade there, Zunaid. Good luck on that one.
You're trying to front run the break pretty much, and if you want to be a little riskier, the stop loss could be over $40. I think that's the big whole number resistance there, but that's what I'm keeping an eye on.
All right, so a lot of my indicator for tech is Microsoft and Adobe right now. They're on a very important breakdown point or hold support or trendline support here. Adobe was also getting hit hard yesterday. What are we getting? We're getting bounces right now. So I'm keeping my eye on those to see if they're going to go red, because if those go red, I'll expect to see some other tech get hit also. Visa definitely was probably one of the best trades today and not going to be able to get it. MasterCard also was one that I was looking to short right out the gates through 339. Wasn't able to get the short there. And as you guys can see, it had already been a profitable trade. So I'm just going to leave these alone now and kind of look for different trades outside of these.
I've got to go call Andrew, but someone asked in the chat what Lucid puts I took, so I'll just answer that real quick. I took the $39 puts. I got filled at $1.83. That's exactly where it is right now. Sorry, I'll be right back, guys.
No worries. All right, Zunaid, if you could hear me, just put your camera on whenever you're ready to come back. It's just going to be Ryan and I time. Let's go. Let's get it.
You know, Mitch, you were talking earlier about, your entry and making sure that, if you miss it, it screws up your thinking. How many times have you heard from other traders, your friends, other people that you trade with, your peers, say, no, there's still time. There's still time to get into that position. There's still time. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I hear that, all the time. And it's like, that's great. But my plan was very, very specific. And I'm like you, if I miss my plan, I just wait for the new setup, right? I don't try to chase. I don't try to let that FOMO take control of my emotions and the way I'm thinking about the rest of the trading day, because now I'm just compounding my problem.
Definitely. I think it's important. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to determine what type of trader you are. And one thing that I hate doing is being subjective in my decision making. So the more objective I can be, I'm going to definitely lean to that side, because that's at least going to give me an ability to control what probability. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. We're just controlling probability and being risk adverse. That's what trading is about. Then you get into high probability that could potentially get you high return with a low risk, right? I mean, that's what we're all looking for. So essentially, we are just trying to trade what we see here. And sometimes if you don't see the pattern or you miss it, it's okay to just sit on your hands and let the pattern go. Like, you know how much wants to short, part of me is like, you missed it. Just short it now. Just short it now. But that's how you get yourself in what I call the in-between stage. Let's say if I would have shorted this name and got filled down here by 338, what do? Is I get myself in this, what I call, you're not a bull, you're not a bear, you're a pig. And when you're a pig, we all know what they say in the market, what happens to pigs. They get slaughtered. And that's the truth, guys, because one of the things you want to be is either a bull or a bear. I think it's really bad to be in the in-between stage. And so you never want to get caught on a stock in the middle of the pattern, because in the middle of the pattern, what is it? You're not bear or bullish. You're kind of in the middle. You're neutral. So you want to be kind of more, let's say if you're shorting, I would like to be on the top side of this chart. And or on the bottom of the breakdown, that's okay also. So you're either kind of a resistance to support kind of shorter, or you're a breakdown from that breakout spot, and you could trade it downwards. That's okay too. But the middle part, I really don't like trading in there.
Yeah, real quick. Speaking of a new trade here, here's a potential one. Stock that I've been watching, IMMR. We got news this morning that director bought 45,000 shares at 528 and 98,000 shares at 517. So this is a stock that I definitely wanted to swing. I wanted to start nibbling on this. This is a really good sign for me. So I don't have a position yet. I'm watching it here at the top. I don't necessarily, if we take a look at, let me flip over to the chart here, you can see what I'm talking about. You can see I'd rather get this down here. Frankly, I'd rather get this closer to 5. I'd like for this to come in a little bit. But this is something that I'm watching for next year. I'd like to swing this for several months. Seems like it's found at least a near-term bottom. Director buying some shares. So interesting piece of news right there. Just thought I'd bring it here.
Really nice trade there all around there for these kind of other stocks. Now I'm seeing the banks starting to catch a bid here. I'm wondering if we're going to get 10 a.m. reversals, guys. We're at 9:49. Big important price to start paying attention to see if you're looking to see some reversals. A lot of the times this is going to happen, guys. So I said the same thing yesterday with MasterCard. It was actually bullish on the day until about 10:30, where it really started cracking and going to the bear. I'm going to start looking to see if we're going to get some reversals to the upside. And some of the areas that I'm going to be looking for is like financials. Today, if you actually look from the open, healthcare is actually in the green and real estate is in the green. Healthcare is actually in the green. It looks like we got drug manufacturers doing well today. You want to take a look at those. This is J&J, BMY. Really nice chart on that BMY. If you like higher price stocks, ABBV, you got PFE, of course, Pfizer. Nice little bounce there. Good trades on those. You can see they're all kind of nice patterns. Look for those to continue. AZN might hold VWAP here, so maybe you could hold that and you could trade off of the support there. But that one's an interesting one. Has faded into the open, even though these other stocks were doing well. We'll see what happens in this one. That's AZN.
I'm going to add to my Lucid puts. It is down at the moment, but I'm going to go ahead and add. So folks in the chat, I'm getting one more piece in terms of the $39 puts that expire this week. That second fill for me is now $1.67. For me, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be a riskier trade. I'm not going to go ahead and close my position until it is above $40. Above $40 is where I will go ahead and stop out. So my average price, thank you. The average price now on my $39 puts on Lucid for this week is $1.75.
Yeah, I'm actually expecting a hard break right now of the 39. I might get short for the breakdown.
Come on.
Short there off to 39.10s here, guys. Going to take a really quick trade here. Break down here for Lucid. Let's see if we get it. Pretty much in a trade that if it goes well for me, it'll probably go well for Zunaid here. So let's see if we get that breakdown. The risk is going to be 39.10 on the upside. If the ask gets above that, I'll go ahead and get out. This is a quicker trade. Just trying to get it. I wanted it off the VWAP there of 39.50. I did miss that spot. Maybe should have got in on that spot on the VWAP bounce. But we were going through some other trades. I'm expecting the breakdown here of 39. It shouldn't come back to the VWAP. All right, so I have 39.99s there.
Yeah,
38.99. Sorry.
It's holding on pretty decently well, but the lows of yesterday are approximately 37.20. So I see no issue for this to come down to at least 38.55 for us to take maybe a quarter off and then take a quarter off pretty much every 25 cents along the way. But
there you
so
go.
Far,
first move there.
There you go. Come on down.
All right, guys. So this is a scout trade. I'm going to close it early into about 38.75s.
Guys, NXTD contract, and it's going to halt.
NXTD?
Yep. Awarded. Yep. Trading halt. So NXTD awarded a U.S. Services Administration contract to distribute personal emergency response systems to federal, state, and local government purchasers. That spiked the stock. It is halted. I have no position in this. Just kind of watch this one off the scanner.
I just got squeezed out. I paid attention to NXTD.
My bad.
It's all good. It's my fault. I shouldn't have been shorting there anyways. I'm definitely in that point where I've been missing trades today, and it's annoying. So I'm just going to hands off, guys. Missing trades today. I'm just going to leave it to go. It happens sometimes, man. This is the thing about being a day trader. You have to be good on execution. If you miss spots, that's how it happens.
Yeah, I'm down about 14% on my puts right now. It is testing VWAPs. I would love for it to go ahead and fail right here. But for me, I'm not closing out, like I said, till the $40 mark. I think the market as a whole got a bounce, which is probably why it popped, because Apple went ahead and popped as well. Not quite. I was wrong. But anyway, let me just make this a 3-chart thing because I'm not looking at all the other stuff to make it a little cleaner. So I'm looking at Apple, looking at Lucid, and then we'll take a look at the SPY as well.
VIX still hanging out right under 23.
Come on, buddy. Fail for me.
I'll be honest. My scanner is a lot quieter than it normally is today.
All right. Apple cracked that 174.
New high BFRI.
Apple cracked that 174. So I'm going to look to see if I can get a bounce back into that level, maybe 174.50s, and then we can get short off 175. We'll see if we get a bounce back here. Don't want to get short down here just because it's a little too close to a pop back to 174.50s.
Electrical trade. Yeah, you're going to see crazy bids and asks just because they're trying to figure out the order book and trying to see what it's going to open at and all that stuff. So I wouldn't pay it that much attention because, yes, you are going to see some wild things.
Yeah, so what happens a lot of times when a stock gets halted, you could still put out orders and level them. And so what happens is you'll see a lot of the algorithms jump in there, and they're trying to station orders according to their strategy, right? So this is going to be a lot of the times algorithmic volume that you're seeing there, but it's something to pay attention to, especially if you see a big bid at some level. One thing that you do want to do is see, and I think a lot of traders don't understand this, is that when you see orders, you need to see that they go through on the time and sale. Because if not, they could be what I call fake out orders. People put out orders just to kind of fake you out. I know this might sound crazy, but it definitely does happen, especially for the bigger trader, right? They'll put out an order on, let's say if they're shorting, they'll put out an order actually on the ask above the resistance, and you'll see a big wall there. What are they doing? They're willing to accept some filling of those shares as long as they can put that wall, have that psychology to knock it right back down. And so this is why trading is really all about kind of self-fulfilling prophecies at the end of the day.
And real quick, Mitch, to that point, I think that's a really good point. Time and sales is different than level 2. They look the same. They report a lot of the same data, but they are different. And a lot of it is what Mitch is talking about. What you see on level 2 is not necessarily what you see across the tape in time and sales. I just put a Investopedia link in the chat here. This is for an iceberg order. If you are not familiar with what an iceberg order is, please read that help doc. That should help make it more sense. Sometimes they'll show, 1,000 shares when really there's 100,000 shares at that bid or ask. So just be very careful. Remember, time and sales different than level 2. Use them both.
Yeah, good old spoofing. Gotta love
That's right.
it.
That's right.
Someone in the
Happens all
chat.
the time.
Someone in the chat asked, "I'm on the wrong side of every trade. What am I doing wrong?" I don't know, but I promise you, if you go ahead and keep a trading journal, you'll be able to identify what you're doing wrong. So you can talk about the stock that you went in, why you went in, what your stop losses was, and I can assure you, as you digest that information and take a look at it, you'll be able to tell. Like, for example,
I used to ask that same question, Zunaid, and some of the mentors that I had when I were younger, you know how they would answer it? They would say, well, what does your trading journal tell you? Literally exactly what you just said, because if you journal all of your trades, you can figure out exactly why you're wrong and then notice patterns and then hopefully work to correct that. Really good piece of advice, Zunaid.
Yep, absolutely. Like, for example, there's Lucid trade that I'm probably going to lose 50% on here in maybe 5 minutes. It would be that I had too big of a stop loss. My stop loss was approximately $1. And in the options world, when you were playing weeklies, that could get brutal. So that's probably what I'll be writing down later on. But
NXTD open popped is what do we got here? We got a high at 332. It's pulling a little bit here. We'll see if it consolidates here. No position. NXTD just saw that one a little late off the scanner.
Yeah.
Question mark is asking if there are any good Android apps for keeping a trading journal. I'll be honest, I've never kept a trading journal on my phone. That doesn't work for me. One of the things that I actually do is in Benzinga Pro, I can use the Watchlist feature or the Watchlist tool, excuse me. There's a notes column in there. So if there's a ticker that you trade over and over again, marking your entry and exit and what happened in that might be very beneficial for you. You can do that right in Pro using the notes field.
So one thing that I would say to that trader that says they're always on the wrong side of money, I would start paying attention to different time frames. Another thing that you need to do is so Ryan's telling you one side of the journaling. So the other side of journaling is not only your trades, but you should journal your strategy. What I mean by that is looking for stocks that traded exactly to the key of your strategy and seeing if they're following and completing the pattern or are they failing the pattern. This is how you can start seeing when your pattern is going into the green and when your pattern is going into the red. This is why a lot of the time I talk about the best traders they don't have the best systems. They know exactly when they want to press the gas pedal and when they want to press the brake pedal. Why? A lot of that's going to do with what Ryan just said, journaling and understanding their trends. And when they're kind of coming down in capital and the patterns aren't matching, they hold their capital. But then when they see the patterns coming into play and going really well for them, what do? They actually get bigger in sizing because they need to push the gas pedal when things are working. That's the hardest thing I think of a day trader is knowing when to push the gas pedal and knowing when to push the brake.
Yeah, when I put in the chat, go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just gonna say it's a good analogy.
Yeah. I use Trader View. I went and put my link in the chat if folks want to try it out. I like it. It tells you good analysis of how long you were in the trade. That's what I actually love, is it tells you, hey, on average, how long were you in a losing trade? On average, how long were you in a winning trade? And that's really beneficial for me to kind of see what I'm missing out on. And especially it also gives you a chart of when you got out and the move that you missed. That way you can see if you left money on the table and how you can better do your trades. Lucid just kind of toying with us. Really need that 39.20 to break and head on down like it did before. But so far, it's just, look at that. It just bounced right off of there. Boing. This is going to be possibly quite ugly for me, but
okay.
Such is life.
I actually, I'll explain how I'm seeing Lucid now. So yeah, I got stopped out here, guys, on this little push. But this is what are you starting to see here, right? So what I would actually do is where it broke down from, start drawing a trend line, start seeing these wicks match up. That's actually still good there. Even though you're slightly above the VWAP, that's not looking bad because you could come back out to test this line down here at 39. The big thing is you don't want to see closing above this 39.60. Do you see how when I zoom in, everything above that is wicks?
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why, right? Selling pressure at that point. So you want to see no close above that. It's okay to sell some shares up there, but when it closes above that, that's going to create that bullish look. If it closes below that, that keeps the bears in line here.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on the 13 EMA, hoping it doesn't close above that on the 10-minute. Basically, that $40 is going to be my hope of it being resistance.
Ms. Whitehorse says she loves the trading journal idea, and definitely there is like if you look online, guys, you can find some online trading journals. The real key is you need to upload your data on it. So it's all about what you want to do. You can also use Excel. Just using Excel is perfectly fine also. Yep. And Excel even has some features where you can kind of bring in data from your kind of platforms and stuff like that. So I know Excel's a little complicated for you guys out there if you're not big on spreadsheets, but check it out, guys. Ryan, I'm going to put you in the background. If you want to come back, just put your camera on. All right, guys, let us trade, Mitch. Maybe we can do lessons when we're not busy trading. Sorry, Robney. No worries. I use spreadsheets for journaling, says Ernesto. There you go. Spreadsheets can work for sure. There's now Lucid testing up there towards the 40. And that's how quickly it can spike. It's a hard trade there.
Yeah.
It was really on like kind of the verge. I'm watching this minute candle to see if it closes above here. It's at 45 right now, 15 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm going to grab one more here. So I went in and got another fill on a few contracts here. I got filled at $1.25 just as a last resort in the sense of risk reward. This isn't because, oh, I'm down, let me go to an average. It's more so, hey, this is a risk reward that makes sense for me. And if it goes ahead, like I said, and gets above $40 and spikes above it, I will be out, which will be here momentarily. Really need that $40 to hold.
All right, let's take a look at the overall market, see what we're seeing. We're starting to see a little bit of a 10 a.m. reversal sign. Doesn't mean it's quickly reversed there, but you are starting to see a little bit of a bottoming action here in the 461.50 area for the SPY. We'll see if it takes out that low again. Let's take a look at the Qs here. Qs are starting also to find some support near 386. We want to see if that level breaks on the downside. If it does, we could continue coming down. If not, I'm looking for above VWAP, above that 387, getting up there towards 387.50 to show you that we are getting a little bit of reversal there. Let's take a look at some of the indicators that I wanted to pay attention to today in tech. Microsoft pushing on up there. We'll see if it can continue making a move, but it's actually in a bullish sense right now. Adobe also kind of holding sideways here, not flushing out. So to me, at least tech is not doing as bad today as I expected it. So if you look at the Qs, I wouldn't feel too bad about those. And if you do have some positive trades in tech, I wouldn't feel too bad about that. Moderna, beautiful trade today, pushing on up there towards 287. Really strong in biotechs today. So
Pfizer too.
Yeah, a bunch of those are doing great.
Out Lucid, short, and I'm out. Took a loss, sold it at $1.11 was my sell.
It happens. No worries, man.
Loss. Let's see. Oh, you better keep going. I swear, if you come back down, we don't have to fight. We don't fight.
Failed bounces in Boeing. Yeah, I do see that. Stress relief trading. Mitch, do you see the failed bounce on BA? These shorts are gonna bank for me. One of the things that you do see on BA is that it still hasn't even come back to VWAP. It could do that. I would start looking at the 5-minute chart now. It does look like it wants to just continue to break that. It could even come to VWAP, but you want to make sure that this resistance holds here. At least if I was still short, I would want 192.65 to hold on any pullbacks. And if you break this, this is a nice little bearish pattern, right? Solid horizontal line, descending wedge here. descending triangle. Let's see if it breaks through 191. That's what you want to see, and then keep going on down there. One thing that I'd point out is a down 1, up 1, down 2, up 2, down 3. It's okay to get a move on up, but you don't want it to break. I wouldn't let it get higher than that 192.22. You want to see it take out that 191.02 now. So it's the rule of 3 just on the downside, guys.
Sorry, my birds.
I don't mind, man. Sometimes you
fine.
need the birds squeaking, man.
I'll be honest, having parakeets, it makes me feel like I'm in the Dominican a lot.
All right,
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna start playing some music, guys. If you guys think it's too loud, please let me know. I'm just gonna keep us going here. The tunes. Can you guys hear that?
Too loud. Yeah.
Too loud?
Yeah, definitely too loud.
Hey, I can't hear I can't hear what you guys hear.
Wow.
That's
that is
way
like-
too loud.
Like I'm about to mute my own computer. It's so loud.
How's that?
Lower, please.
Lower.
That?
That's fine.
There.
I can't hear it as loud as you guys can. So with
Yeah.
the encoding, it just takes it away from my
Mixer
ears.
should help with that, by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting one. Forget
Yeah.
everybody. I'm ordering it. Don't worry about it. Benzinga will pay for it. We'll
And
figure it
ain't
out.
nobody worried. Ain't nobody worried, Mitch. You're doing good. So real quick, C. Stanley's asking thoughts on Sens. This is a stock that I've liked for a long time. When I first bought this, it was around 3. It went down to pennies, I think like 70 cents or something like that, and then bounced back up to like near 5. This is like an internal glucose monitoring system. So market here is real big. They're going to need some FDA help, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to need some approvals to get their product up off the ground. I like this. I don't have a current position. Don't think the big move is imminent right now. I could be completely wrong on that. That's just my own feeling. So I'm not in a position. I do like this long term. I would like to build a position at some. I know it's a very inexpensive stock. I just don't have an edge on this. This was put on my radar several years ago. And still kind of hanging out around here. So I like this. No position. Don't have any other information for you. I'm sorry about that.
All right, guys, gonna start a starter here off the pretty much VWAP there for Visa. It's starting to break down again there. So one of the things is here is that if it gets even slightly above VWAP, we got to get out because you could get that squeeze. But I'm still seeing relative weakness in the name in the price action. So got short there, a really small amount there, just 10 shares, literally. Small amount to just get a starter here. Looking for it to get to VWAP. Wasn't able to get VWAP, so I took a smaller amount there. Looking for it to flush back down to the 208.50s. One to watch there also is Square, giving me that sign that, hey, this area is not looking good. Look at that Square. That was one of the ones that I was going to watch. Look at that VWAP fade. I love that one. That one was a nice one. Right by the resistance, right above. You could have just knocked it right back down.
Taking a look at Lucid, if you want to throw up my charts, lovely Lucid on that 10-minute. Look at that nice wick where we went ahead and stopped out and it said, oh, got you out? Cool. Now, okay, seriously? Anyway, we'll see what happens with Lucid here, but I'm out of the trade, like I said. I like the fact that the 10-minute went ahead and closed below here, but as you can see, now it's trying to go ahead and do its thing. If this comes back down below VWAP, it could be another nice short where you're risking 40. And I say nice short again, like the first one worked out. It didn't. But anyway, that's what I'm keeping an eye on. You can see I've got an alert set at Apple to see what happens around this area, possibly a bounce off of the 172, similar to how it did yesterday. So that's why I've got an alert set on Apple and that SPY trying to come back to VWAP. If you believe short is still the way to go, wait for that to come up to VWAP, and then you can go ahead and short it for that better risk reward.
Yeah, one of the things that I do see in there is, yes, slight reversal, no big reaction yet. Still in kind of a pullback of the bearish move there for the SPY. We'll see if the SPY gets above VWAP. Definitely if it gets above VWAP, I want to be out of shorts.
Real quick regarding NXTD, we announced that contract that came across the wire. We announced the pop. It's holding here just above 3. I will say, and again, I have no position here. I'm not trading this one. I will say, looking through the news here, I don't see how much the contract is for. And that to me is a red flag because it sounds great, but we don't have any numbers here. And so if I missed it, that's possible too. If I missed it, let me know. But I just wanted to call that out here. I don't see an amount in this story. It certainly wasn't in the headline. So just something to keep in mind. NXTD. We report all angles here.
All right, guys. Look at that Visa now starting to break down. Not looking bad there, guys. Visa, look at this move, guys. I'm going to put the chart up. This is a nice pattern there. So you see right there, boom, now knockdown. Now we don't even want it back towards 209. 209 would get us out. So what I do is I would actually lower this line to the body. Forget the wicks. Slower it to the body. You don't want to see it back above that 209 now. You want to see a flush down through this wick. It needs to get all the way down towards around 207.88 to show us continued down momentum. If not, I'll just take what I can get.
Lucid coming right on back down a test VWAP.
Lucid trap.
Yep.
It's that 40 trap, really. If you think about it, remember, we talked about how that was an important level. Shorters got short there. When it came back to that level and it popped above, it faked out a lot of the people that were trading off of the VWAP and more of people trading off of that 40. So a lot of people watching that 40. That's what I think, Zunaid.
Yep. Been very good reason for it, but we'll see. We'll see how things play out.
It's a daily level also, too. That 40 is important on the daily. They could come out and take that out now. All right, guys, let's take a look at the Qs. The Qs finding some bid here. I want to take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at what happened to Tesla. I know we started bullish, but did we start going bear? Yeah, we kind of did that fake out move. These are the kind of fake out moves that I talk about. Move straight up. You're super excited on Tesla. Then this is why you need to have your out if you do play the VWAP bounce, because when it broke here and started coming down towards 955, you got to know you're out. You don't want to get caught in these names, even if they just pop and you're just looking for the trade back up, hoping that it comes back up.
Yeah, BFRI is still kind of chugging along. Still, the trend is to the upside. If you're going to try to get in here, where it's just that, would you mind turning the music down or off because it keeps fluctuating?
Yeah, it is fluctuating. That is really annoying.
Yeah, just turn it off if that works for you, Mitch. But you've got BFRI, which is currently at 727. You can get in here. Your stop loss would be below $7, as that's where the short-term momentum trend would change to the downside. It is below VWAP, so be careful of that. If you want a little bit more energy into the stock, you can grab some more after it breaks VWAP, which is near 738, give or take. But anyway.
No worries. Music's soft. You don't got to go crazy, guys.
Is it chat? Oh, the chat is. I just saw the chat.
I'll be honest with you. Music in a show is one of the most polarizing things that I've come across on the internet recently. People love it and people hate it. There is very rarely a middle ground, and each side is unwilling to accept the other side's viewpoint.
It's like AMC traders.
I wasn't going to say it, but Mitch, just to be throwing daggers over there.
I mean, speaking of AMC, we're looking at what, $23 the last I checked on AMC. Got a question from you in the chat. When looking at time and sales for option buys and sells, is there a possible way to determine if the prints are buys open? So no, not clearly, but you should be able to, and I'll be honest, I don't look at time and sales for options, but I would assume that there should be a setting where it's like, hey, you can see if the transaction took place at the bid, below the bid, at the ask, above the ask, or somewhere in the middle.
All right, guys, it's looking good right here. Look like the SPY wants to try back down towards the low of 461. Let's see if it takes this out here. If the SPY does take this out, I'll be looking for shorts to continue on their move down. 461.50 is an important price point. Look for that volume to actually increase going into that. So if you see right here, you see how the volume's decreasing from the open? You want to see another spike of volume. So let's see if we can get a spike, let's say of 200K on the 1 minute for the SPY as it goes through this price point. So that volume doesn't necessarily always confirm price action, but it gives you a story there that there's volume being traded at those levels, which gives it really even kind of that backing that it is a support that could become resistance if it keeps going down.
Real quick, I wanted to add on to Zunaid's answer for John here. Mitch, if you'd throw up my screen briefly.
You got it.
I think that a lot of this is going to depend on your broker. John, and how they do things. And one of the things that you might want to do is reach out to them so that you're 100% sure what you're looking at. That's always going to be a key. Here's Thinkorswim, and you can see that this is the option time and sales for Apple, which is why it's moving so quickly. You can see that some of these transactions are green and some of these transactions are red. Some of these transactions are white. So from what I understand, green means these were buys, red means they were sales, and the white could mean that there's another condition. Like, for example, here, this was part of the spread. In some other cases, what's going on here is that if you can't get debit or credit information from the exchange, then you have no way of telling if the transaction was an opening or a closing transaction. So, or you can't tell if it was a buy or a sell. So something to keep in mind. I know Zunaid said he doesn't really look at the option time and sales. To be quite honest with you, I don't either in the moment. If I have to review something, maybe I will. This is how Thinkorswim does it. I don't know necessarily how your broker or other brokers do it, but I'm sure you'd be able to get that answer at least more complete than you have from reaching out to their support. I hope that was helpful.
It was. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time there, Ryan. I mean, that's what it's all about, guys. You guys smash the like button if you guys appreciate us going into so many different aspects today. So please do me the favor, guys. Smash that like button. Let's keep this going. Let's like on up, guys. Hit those likes. Let's see if we can get to 500 likes today. Looks like we're getting down on the like game. So if you guys want to keep us absolutely free right here on live trading, smash that like button and let's keep trading out there.
VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, rollers. Volume weighted average price.
Yeah.
So it's the volume of uptick and downtick, also compared to the price. And so this is why it's important. Too many people kind of don't really understand the VWAP and why is it important and what does it really pertain. So what is it doing is it's trying to match price action with the uptick and downtick volume to give you an average price on the day.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I want to watch Home Alone tonight.
I got you, man. Disney Plus.
I think I might throw that on tonight. I'm not going to lie.
Disney Plus, guys. Disney Plus.
I have it saved on my DVR from last Christmas.
Oh, that's a smart man. Saved on the DVR.
You've got BFRI coming to test $7. It's currently at $7.06. Risk reward is pretty decent if you believe that $7 is going to hold. I'm not in any trades at the moment. I got stopped out of Lucid. And the other trade that I was in worked out, but I am in no trades at the moment. I don't really see much. I'm not gonna lie.
Telling you, I was kind of waiting for that. I was kind of waiting for the middle of the day today as it was. We started off by saying there might not be a whole lot of plays. That's what's coming to fruition. Again, my scanner here real quiet.
Yeah.
We called out NXTD. We called out BFRI, at least in terms of some of these smaller caps. Zunaid, I don't know about you. I'm not trying to swing anything right ahead of this Fed meeting, right? I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait. I'm not gonna force it. So
I'm all cash. So
I'm going to take my swing right here, guys. Visa just added there, guys. Now have what we have here, 208.94 there for Visa. Just added a little bit there. Looking to hold here. Don't want it to get back through the resistance here, but definitely giving it a chance to come breaking back down. Got short here. Got short here. Now looking for it to hold that above 29.30s will really squeeze us out. Really the SPY doing a little bit of a fake out here. Take a look at the SPY. You'll see it kind of doing a little bit of a fake down move and really holding sideways. Could start ripping back up. I might get stopped out of this right here, but I'm just paying attention. I'll let you guys know.
if you want to go ahead and put up my chart, I'm going to tell you folks what I'm looking at. So Apple, as you can see, it's couple of green 10-minute candles. I am looking at this area right here, which is all right. Mitch is out of his trade. I'm looking at 174.20. If it can go ahead and get around the 174 area, which is about to, I'm going to look to go short, hoping that this ends up being resistance as it was here. And that's the level that I have. And there's VWAP and there's also the EMA. So I'm hoping that'll end up being resistance. Let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY, and let's go ahead and take a look at the Qs as well. Looks like it's also coming up near VWAP. So if you like the short side, this is a great risk reward if you can respect it and get yourself in and out of it. You do have the Qs that are going above VWAP at the moment.
All right, traders out there, definitely smash the likes. It looks like we only got about 215 likes right now. Guys, I'm just going to let you know, guys, it's not good enough, guys. If you guys want to keep us on, that's not good enough. We need you guys out there to smash that like. If we don't smash that like, guys, we're not going to be able to stay on here for much longer. So if you guys want to support us, smash that like button.
Real quick, we got a question here in the chat. Noah Posner is asking, how long until the Fed minutes, Benzinga? Let me show you how you can find that if you have Benzinga Pro. Mitch, if you wouldn't mind tossing up my screen for just 1 sec here.
Boom.
You can use the calendar tool in order to do this. We actually have 14 different calendars that are very helpful for tracking things. One of them is an economics calendar, and in that economics calendar, you're going to be able to see some of this. So we've got the FOMC press conference statement and economic projections. This happens at 2 p.m. Eastern. The press conference, is at 2:30. One of the things that I like to do here, I like to sort this by importance. Importance is how important this event is to the overall market, as determined by our news desk. All they do is go through news. So I like to have that. I like to sort by this just to kind of put all of it at the top. You can see some of the other events that are going to be in here. And you can also see that this is not just the US. So really good question. This is how you can actually find the answer when using Benzinga Pro. Thank you, Mitch.
Boom, boom. This is the gold, Batty Ice. This is the gold.
Ron calling AI. Ron, great call. AI really kind of pushing out here. This has been one that's really kind of been beaten down. We actually talk quite a bit about this in the happy hour show. This is one that I know our traders are trading. Really, really kind of an ugly chart. We do look like we're trying to make a move here today. Nice little move if you're in it. I'm not in this. Don't have this long term, but nice move here. Nice call out there.
All right. Looks like some people want the most mentioned Reddit stocks today. Someone's talking about ChargePoint continuing to drop. And yes, my favorite word is guys.
I'm gonna grab a short side on SPY. Ryan, take a look. I'm gonna grab small size here just because I am off my game today, and shorts is not something I'm comfortable with today. With God knows what's gonna happen here with the VIX. I'm keeping it on as well. But Ryan, do me a favor if you have a second. Take a look at the SPY chart, and Mitch, you as well. Tell me what you think about going short here. I'm already short here. I went ahead and grabbed the 463 puts. Went ahead and got filled at $2.36, and the other fills of mine are $2.39. But basically, the reason I'm shorting is because of a rejection of VWAP, and I'm hoping for it to not cross over the level here, which is 462.50. So pretty much I was risking about 50 cents in terms of losses. And then the downside, I'm hoping for it to at least come back and test the 461.30 area.
All right. So my thought is that you pretty much have a great plan on here. If I were shorting, I'd be trying to short as close to VWAP as possible. The number that I have on and I'm using the VWAP from my broker because that's where I would execute the trades. The number that I have on VWAP here is 462.28. So we're at 462. So right here, the bottom of that standard deviation channel on the VWAP is going to be 460.97. So let's call that 461. If we take a look at yesterday's lows, that actually lines up really nicely. We're at about 460 to 460 and a half. Yeah. So for me, the trade plan is very simple. We break above VWAP. You're closing it out for a very small loss. Keep that loss small, but you're hoping that we actually push down, snap this 461.40, and continue down to a 460 area.
I appreciate you telling me it's a good idea because it looks like the chat agrees and they're putting their millions of dollars into puts. And we are now up 6% on those puts. Don't say I never give you a green trade. Well, Lucid was green. It just wasn't green enough for us to take. But anyway. Yeah, that's the reason I'm short the SPY. Apple talked about how if it can get up here, I would go short. Kind of hasn't quite gotten there yet, and it may not, but that's okay. The SPY just looked better because it was near VWAP, and I'm also taking a look at the VIX as it is in a uptrend at the moment. So I'm hoping for it to continue on up. But you can see resistance right here from yesterday. So it's got to go ahead and break this with, I don't want to say volume, but you get the point. It's got to break it with some momentum.
So some volume definitely coming in there to the Apple trade. You start seeing those 1,000 orders going through there at 173.50s. Looks like some people are trying to get short through that level. I'm actually going to look for one more bounce closer towards 174 and then a flush out. So let's see if we get that bounce. But definitely I think there's some shorters trying to get short on Apple right now. And that's impressive because I don't think that there's too many people thinking about Apple on the downside here. But definitely you see it. Be careful with charts like Tesla today where it's below VWAP still. It's kind of like a trap right here, right? Like it start looking like it wants to go up, but it's not above VWAP. Unless the stock is above VWAP, that's what you want to see for a bullish stock. Unless it gets up there, you're kind of jumping the gun in trying to get in here. Let's say this 950, because it's not to that VWAP yet. You look for that above VWAP and then holding VWAP. That's what I would look for. And you can see Tesla here. That's called a trap right now. That's a bullish trap.
What do you prefer, stocks or a pie cost? I have no idea what that is. I would not be able to answer that.
Wait, what are you looking at?
I think that was average cost. You just didn't.
Oh, on the phone. The autocorrect got you. Do you prefer stocks or average cost? Even so, I don't understand.
So I understand. I think I understand what he's saying. So what I think he's saying is why do I trade common stocks and why do you guys trade options? I think that's what he's trying to say. Why do I prefer to trade the commons? Because I feel I can control the risk 10 times easier than in options. But Zunaid could probably say something against even that, right? I mean, it's up to you, right?
I'll play middle ground, then we'll let Zunaid come out with the hammer. I prefer stock. If I'm being completely honest, I prefer stock. In fact, I prefer not to day trade. To be quite honest with you, my favorite type of trading are wealth building moves, swing and investment that end up going up hundreds or thousands of %. And the only way that I would really manage trades like that is through stock. I wouldn't want to buy an asset that I know is going to depreciate over time with the intention of holding it for an extended period of time. I understand how leaps work and all that, and there are ways to do that, and that's great. This is just, for me, if I'm going to do something long-term, I'd rather trade the stock. It's more straightforward. However, there's something to be said for option leverage. And if I feel really, really good about a particular short-term move, I've talked about it a lot, drops on Apple right out of the open that we've marked as idiot drops. When that happens, the best way to take advantage of that is to lever into that product. I'm able to control my risk from the outset by not buying more contracts than I can afford to lose, not shelling out premium that I don't want to lose. And then I have levered returns if the trade ends up working in my favor. So there's a good mixture of both. In a perfect world, I would prefer to trade the stock.
Yeah, and I think it also just depends. If you are someone who is emotional and you haven't quite learned how to not be when you're trading, you should go with stock, because especially if you're playing options and you're playing weeklies, those swings are going to make you get out quicker than you want to. And it just may not end up working out favorably for you. So when you're starting out, though, I think you should go commons 100%, then slowly dip your toes into options. But your emotions will just swing widely if you are in options, no question about it.
Yeah, my biggest thing against options is that you're playing the game against multiple factors versus just the market. You're playing the game against traders. You're playing the game against kind of decay, an understanding of how options are priced, and mispricing is, I think, even more important. Your understanding of that. I think a lot of traders don't understand the Greeks and they still trade options. I think that's 100% wrong. Because I think if you're going to trade something, you should understand what you're in. So I 100% could say I understand common stocks. I understand price action. I understand the volume. I understand level 2. I understand time and sales. I can't say that for options.
Yeah.
Looking at the chart, it looks like it's already up. You can see Apple didn't quite give me the entry that I wanted.
No, it
was maybe about 20 cents off, but so far, at least the idea is working out. SPY, I don't want to say it's working out because I'm only up maybe like 2% on it. But still below VWAP. I will stop out if it can cross 462.50. Just because I said it, don't mean you got to do it. SPY, relax. Come on down. But those are the ones that I'm looking at. I'm actually in the SPY trade. And I might go 1 for 2.
Yeah, my CMT studies are showing. Yeah, too bad I couldn't take the damn test.
Yeah, that's mad weird, bro.
Yeah, bro, you have no idea. A person that streams every day had technical problems on a camera.
It's wild.
That just goes to show you guys.
Let's see.
Real slow today.
Yeah, I'm trying to look around. Someone talked about NVIDIA. NVIDIA is looking nice, but it's just, I just don't have a clear direction. And NVIDIA, yeah, you've got the high day at 290. So that could be your target, but like your stop loss would be below VWAP. So you're risking like $3 for like $2. So it's not the best risk reward. But it is on a nice little uptrend. That 288, that 282 level was a real nice bounce. I don't see any.
Today's one of those days where you trade the wrong names, you get screwed.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, I wanted to trade MasterCard short today, and that's a clean chart. If I would have been trading MasterCard instead of Visa, I'd be in the green. Let's just be honest. I'd be in the green if I was trading MasterCard. So that just shows you guys, selection is so important. So know the areas that you're going to trade. Look at the selection. Look at the price action. Visa has trapped me before in being choppy. And you can clearly see from this pattern, it's a lot choppier than that MA. And so MA trades cleaner. So I'm just going to keep watching MasterCard because of that. And so did Square today also. Trade a lot cleaner than, let's say, Visa. So just be careful out there.
Taking a look at, let's see what we've got here.
Microsoft being called out by Kyle James. Let's take a look there. Microsoft still holding bullish here, but pretty much sideways. If you look at the hourly, what does this show you? It doesn't show you a bullish move anymore, right? But if you look at the 5-minute, you're like, yeah, this is bullish. This is holding well. Actually, not really that strong today, especially how red the day yesterday was in Microsoft. But if we close sideways here above the trend line, we're still looking good, which is 328. Negative move for me, Microsoft today would be coming towards these lows, 320s. Sideways action in Microsoft.
VIX is coming down. I don't want VIX to go below 2250. But
I'll tell you one thing, you got a mess of traders in Apple between 173.60s and let's say 70 and 173.50. So the reaction is going to be big right now. I'm going to be watching it to see what happens here. But definitely a lot of sizing going through there. How I know this, guys, is because I use a time and sales filter for anything that's over 1,000 or 1,000 share order. And I can see at least like 20 or 30 orders in the last couple minutes. This is something that I love doing, guys. I like filtering time and sales. Too many people have their time and sales just regularly set. And what you see is a whole bunch of algorithmic volume. And it's very hard to pay attention. So what I like to do is I use multiple times in sales box. I'll leave one by itself. I'll put one at 101 filter, and then I'll put that next one at 1,000 filter. So using 3 time in sales on my main chart to tell me, hey guys, big order in here. No, middle size order. Or is this just small algorithmic volume? All right, guys, going to look for a rejection from this 174 mark. If it rejects from there, I might get short on Apple, but really it needs to be coexisting with the SPY. You don't want to see the SPY hold VWAP right now. I want to see a quick rejection off the SPY on the VWAP. If the SPY pushes up here, I'm not going to go and trade Apple short.
Yeah, SPY's creeping up at that 462.50 level. Let's see what we are looking at.
Butter is asking if there's L2 and time and sales on Benzinga. No, that should be a common offering with your broker.
Yeah, that would be more your brokerage, because at the end of the day, we use Benzinga Pro to find the trades, not necessarily execute them.
That is a good line.
Executing comes from brokerages, guys.
Yep.
They just try to give you some extra features.
Yeah, and you should call your broker and make sure that you try to negotiate at the very least to get that level 2 and any other data for free.
Here's what I'll say. You can fund a TD Ameritrade account with $500 and have access to level 2 at no additional cost.
You ready,
If
Ryan?
your broker tries to nickel and dime you, lay it on them. Tell them you're going somewhere else.
I'll save you some money. You don't even need 500. All you need is 50 to have access to live trading. You can have access to their paper trading kind of service that you can kind of like practice your strategies. You can do that. So you only need a $50 account at one point, and then you only need to keep it there for a month, and then you can even take that money off, and they'll still give you live trading. They'll still give you all the access to their features. I used to use Thinkorswim, but I really like the charting. It's not really my key.
Yeah, and it's strange too, because I prefer the charting in Thinkorswim.
That's right? How it is. It's just traders.
Thinkorswim to TradingView, which is what you guys use and what we have in Pro. But it's just because that's what I learned on. It's not one's better than the other. It's one I'm comfortable with. That's it. Charlie's the best, Lisa Lee. Charlie is amazing.
I went ahead and added to my shorts on SPY. Got a fill of 209 and 213s on those two different batches. Really, what I'm looking at is for this to hold as my last line of defense. Talked about it when I got into the trade that this was going to be my stop loss. And if it goes ahead and cracks that on its march towards 462.60, I will be out. But really hoping for this to fade on down, but it ain't looking pretty.
Looking for the third reject here of 174 on Apple to get short. Want to see this candle reject 174, and then we're going to start shorting here.
Yeah, it's going to test that. Where it is testing VWAP. Come on, just dump it.
Short. I'm short Apple there, guys. Short Apple. If VWAP will get me out.
Come on, SPY. Come on down.
Get a quick stop out here.
Come on.
It's coming to VWAP, Apple.
I've got 2 cents left on the SPY, and I'm out. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's one of those days, man.
Took a loss, got out at $1.96.
It's one of those days. I'm finishing the day down about 75. I mean, it's not too bad. The last 2 days I've been up over 100. So it's not the worst, but definitely one of these days where I had, and I think we had some great ideas. What did we do wrong?
Yeah, we did.
Just not execute. It happens, right, guys? I mean, at the end of the day, sometimes you're not going to be on top of your executions, and that's going to happen. I mean, we can't always expect to have the profits. So definitely today, I can say, I got cooked in Apple. See what I did there?
Yeah, I haven't.
Yeah, I did it.
It's been an awful day.
It's one of those days, guys. I mean, you can't get mad. All we can do is just keep. The whole market is going up, and you guys are shorting. It says calm. I mean, hey, earlier on it was doing.
Well, you're saying the market's. Hold on, let me take a little.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really good. It's not really. It's just starting to get above VWAP.
I'm also not shorting. So
yeah, that is true.
Not correct.
It's always going to be like that, guys. It just happens, man. Chris said, I've been getting cooked for 2 weeks. It does happen, guys. I mean, if I would have traded the trade that I wanted to trade, right? MasterCard, look where I would be. I'd still be in the green. I'd just be sitting in the green. So that just shows you guys that it depends on your stock selection a lot of times in day trading, especially when it comes to day trading.
Yeah. And for the individuals seeing the market's going up and we're shorting, I don't know why there's an echo. I'll just never mind. No, there we go. Finally, something fixed. But I mean, the market's gone up for the past 20 minutes, and it just got above VWAP. So we're still in the negative. So I'm not sure what your definition of market going up is. But keep in mind that VWAP failing has been something that's made tremendous money time over time here for us on the show. So it's all about risk reward. Unfortunately, this time it didn't pan out, and that's why we cut our losses, and then we just wait till the next setup. But so far that Apple is rejecting that level right above, but it is over VWAP, so I'm not touching it. I'm already 1 and 2 for the day, so I am done.
Yeah,
Mopey King says, "Well, now I feel better. Even you guys lost money."
Oh my God! Yeah, are you kidding?
But let me tell you something. Everyone
all the time
that does this loses money. Every single person that you talk to loses money doing this. One of the things 100%. That we do is we'll show you when we lose money. We'll tell you why we lose money. We don't run from that. I have been saying for years that you're going to learn more from your losses than you're going to learn from your winners. So if you're pretending like you're not losing or you're justifying away why it's okay, that's not actually helping you. Everyone loses that. I'm down $1,400 this week. It's Wednesday. So what do you want me to say? And that's with some successful trades. It's just, It is what it is. You gotta be able to hold through the rough times. That's going to make you a better trader without
There's
question.
some stormy markets out there, guys. Stormy markets out there for sure right now. And when you're trading through the turbulence, there's going to be ups and down moves, right? I mean, at the end of the day, that's what happens out there, guys. So just keep battling, man. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what we're going to keep doing. And we'll be right here, trading on live trading with Benzinga. I'm going to get you guys, Ryan and Zunaid, on out of here, guys. You guys smashed the like. They stayed a little bit extra. They're usually out of here around 10:30. But you guys hit that like button. We're going to keep on going through. One thing that I wanted to go through today is probably a little bit of education. Let's do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call out any indicator out there that you guys want to talk about. Anything that you can find on your charting platform. Let's go ahead and talk about that, whether it could be MACD, whether it could be average true range, whether you want to learn about Bollinger Bands. I think we've talked about Bollinger Bands before. Maybe let's do it. Maybe it's Fibs. Whatever you guys want to do, we'll go ahead and start attacking that. Ryan, I'll get you guys and Zunaid on out of here. You guys go ahead and have a great day. We'll be back on Friday, guys. Yes, yep. Thursday, we have another all access, but we'll be back on Friday. And guess what, guys? I am actually taking an overnight flight on Friday night. So I'm actually going to come here just for you guys, but do me the favor, guys. Smash up that like. Let's get to 400 today. If you guys want to see me on Friday, even if you're watching this show after the fact, hit that like because it's going to get me to want to show up on Friday. Even though I have a really long day ahead of me, I'll show up for you guys, but smash that like button.
And real quick, before I get out of here, I just wanted to shout out Beat Fanatic. I'm a gigantic Seinfeld fan. So when you say the sea was angry that day, my friends, I would say like an old man trying to send back soup in a deli.
Shout out to Voodoo. I did get your email, and I've got it on my to-do list because that's when I review my trades and the new strategy. So I appreciate the email, man. I'm gonna check it out this weekend and get back to you on Monday. Appreciate you, pal.
All right. Let's go ahead and I'll pull my study guide here, guys. When we return, we're gonna go ahead and get into some indicators. Smash that like button, guys. We're gonna keep going here on Benzinga, live trading with Benzinga. Guys, let me know. Which one do you guys want to talk about? I see chart patterns out there, RSI. Which one do you guys want to talk? Let's do a little learning action now.
I tell all my CEOs, this is a very, very, very important platform. And look, all the other platforms are important too, but you're up there now. You're way up there.
Best investments you can do in your future is actually go and re-educate yourself on credible sites and credible resources like Benzinga. I think you guys have been killing it.
The comment section on this show is remarkable. Like the quality of the combo, and just big shout out to you and your community.
So I love about you guys, you just had all your callers in right then. And it's all about the community here at Benzinga.
All right, traders, how we doing out there? I want to give you guys a little Santa present here. Let's go ahead. Let's start doing a little learning action with the Santa. Let's get into it. Ooh, Santa got the moves, guys. Let's keep it going. All right, pulling off Santa here. Let's look at some market. What do you guys want to talk about? Looks like there's a lot going on out there in the chat. Let's do it. All right, very true, says Ryan. If you don't, you're lying. Yeah, a lot of traders lose, guys. If they say they're not losing, more than likely they're lying. Let's keep going. Count those blessings, and let's get into it. All right, so looks like there's been volume profile being mentioned by Kyle. What other things are being mentioned? Bollinger Bands, TTM squeeze. What else are we talking about here? We got, I see Bollinger Bands mentioned twice. EMAs, and why exponential moving averages are different from SMAs. You hear SMA being mentioned, simple moving averages. We could talk about that. Fibonacci, we could get into some of that. How Bollinger Bands different from VWAP standard deviations. We could talk about that. Candlestick patterns, cup and handle indicator, RSI. So what I'm going to do, guys, is we'll hold a little bit of a vote here. All right, guys. So press 1 if you guys want Bollinger Band talk. Press 2 if we're going to get into chart patterns today. Press 3 if you want to learn about the differences between SMAs, EMAs, and how you can necessarily use moving averages to trade. Press 3. And for the 4th, we'll do it as the VWAP. You see Eden there. We can explain the VWAP, how you use it, how you could possibly use a standard deviation on that. I did see that mentioned. So you guys throw up the numbers. I'll look at the votes and see what pretty much kind of leads here. And you guys smash the thumbs up and support us as we're going to do some education time. Sleeves are rolled up. Study guide is here. So I will try to do my best, not just to go off of my knowledge, but specifically word for word from some knowledge here from my CMT course here. So let's go ahead. Let's get into it. Looks like a lot of 2s and 3s I'm seeing. So 3s we were talking about. So we got we did Bollinger Bands, patterns, simple moving averages, and AMAs. Looks like that's pretty much winning, guys, for right now. Woo-hoo. Hey, well, I'll tell you what, guys. Can't hear you. I'm sure you guys can hear me. I'm seeing the numbers rolling through there. 4s and 4s. All right, so today I'm going to go ahead and do SMAs and EMAs. So we'll do the moving averages today. We're going to do this every day. Every day on live trading, we're going to do a little bit of education. And at around 11 o'clock, we're going to get into a trader and bring a trader on to give you guys some different perspective than just, Ryan, Zunaid, and I. We're going to bring on traders. So if you guys out there are having success in your trading, you want to come on live trading, hit me up at Mitch@benzinga.com. I'm already reaching out. I'm building a nice guest list of traders that I feel really trade and will benefit you guys out there. So let's keep it going. All right, so we're going to talk about SMAs today and EMAs. So first thing we need to do is kind of delete everything else, right? We don't want to get confused by everything else. So I'm actually going to delete everything else. I'll make my charts again for you guys, and I'm not going to stress about this. I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys the full screen here. So the first thing we need to do is kind of get some moving averages on here, right? And so we're going to go ahead and actually remove the VWAP so it doesn't confuse us. And we're going to start putting in some indicators here. But let's do SMAs first. So we can start looking at moving averages. So you look up moving averages. Simple is going to be the first one we're going to do. We're going to, I put it on the wrong one there. Hold on just 1 second here. Let me get these going for us here. All right, so put it on MasterCard. That's a 50. And then let's go ahead. Let's put another one here. And we're going to go ahead and put another simple one. We're going to do this one and off of Master also. And then I'm going to change that one to 200. And now let's go ahead and we're going to do more of an EMA, an exponential one. And let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to pull it also kind of. What I'm going to do here is let's go ahead and edit here. Let's put the 200. And we're going to do this one purple, and we're going to make it a little thicker so you guys can really see it. All right. And then this EMA, we're going to actually change it to, I like the 9 for EMAs. Okay. And we're going to put a blue line so you guys can see that one. And then let's make that yellow 50 moving average a little thicker so you guys can see that. All right, there you go. Now we got 3 moving averages on here. We got the purple, which is a 200. We got the 50 simple day, which is this yellow. And then we have a 9 EMA here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get into the moving averages here. So moving averages are really all a level to tell us what? They're kind of price analysis, essentially. You know, when we're looking at simple moving averages, we're just taking the data and literally calculating it out. Now, one of the things is when you look at EMAs, and so I'm trying to go ahead and pull it up here on here so I can really read it to you guys. But when we're looking at EMAs, one of the things that happens with moving averages is you have to do what? You have to go ahead and take a look at all the data. So SMA takes all the data and kind of balances it out. But an EMA, what does it do? It starts weighting the closest data points as more important than the prior data points. How do we do that? We start adding a weighted to that EMA. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's take a look here. Got it right over here. Don't worry, guys. I'll starting to have these ready for us and exactly what we're going to go into. I just want to make sure that I read it to you guys correctly here and the moving averages. Okay, so one of the things that you guys always got to remember is when you're using moving averages, they try to give us support, but they don't always match up with the support. So when we're looking at moving averages, we're looking to see how the shorter time frame moving average reacts to a longer time frame, because what moving averages are trying to do is smooth out the data so that we can find where the support and resistance of the price action really is. Where are we finding the prices? And so we use EMAs to show us closer to the price action. And it's going to be weighting more of the closer price action. A lot of day traders use this as, let's say, BFRI. Pure example of a nice parabolic stock move today, right? And so a lot of traders are using the 200-day moving average to do what? So the 200-day moving average down here, this purple line, tells us really quickly bullish and bearish. So the 200-day is a great level for technical analysis to be using to determine if a stock is in a bullish trade long-term or is it in a bearish trade long-term. So in here, a lot of times you'll use on the daily and you'll take a look to see of where that is. So like, let's take a look at Apple. Apple, you can clearly see here that the 200-day moving average is what? Really below it. So that shows you that it's really bullish. And anytime that it comes into that, you want to maybe take a spot here, just like you saw the moving averages kind of collide here. You got the 50, the 9, the 200-day was slightly below, and people were probably buying off of the 200-day moving average because that signifies a level of support there for the bulls to stay in, right? And so you're seeing this trade really stay up there and the 200-day stay below. Now, the 50 is going to be a lot closer to the move. It's going to be closer to the trend. Now, one thing you are going to get with the 50, which is this yellow line, is you're going to get it to go above and below the trend. And so with that being said, you know, when it's below the trend, we're seeing that bullish lift. When it's above that trend, we're going to actually think that it's in a bearish move. A lot of stocks right now are actually below this 50 and this 200-day moving average. So let me actually pull up FinViz right quick because I can really quickly get that information from FinViz. I want to show you guys what I like to pay attention for market breadth is you look above the 200-day moving average here. And so let me go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. So you see how this is reading above the 200-day SMA, what is above, what is below that 200-day. That's why it's bullish and bearish here. And you can see 64.1%. Yesterday, we were at 58. So essentially, we're still moving further and further to the bearish side. If you look here at the SMA, we're about at the SMA 50, we're about 75.8% in the red. So this shows you that a lot of the trades are actually trading on the bearish side. All right, so let's go ahead and let's take a look here back towards the moving averages and how you can use them to necessarily trade. So a lot of the times, the 9 EMA is one of the ones that is used a lot. Why is the 9 EMA important? Because if you actually look at the MACD indicator, which uses an exponential moving average as the trigger line, that right there is a 9 EMA a lot of the times with the standard calculations of the MACD. So that's why I use the 9, and that's why I like to use it as the EMA. And you can see how it holds below it. A lot of traders actually look for when they're in the trade for the EMA to follow their trade. And when the EMA cracks, where the price point goes below the EMA, they get out of the trade. And they're still using SMAs to show you a smoother data point to the overall trend. And so that's pretty much what you guys can talk about when you're looking at SMAs. I want to go ahead and take you guys a little bit of a kind of a question time. So if you guys got some questions on the SMA or the EMA, this is the time to go ahead and throw it up. I'll try to do my best to explain it. And like always, I mean, this is me trying to explain things, so it's not going to be 100%, but I will do my best because this is exactly what I'm studying, guys. All right, so what brokerage are you guys using? I'm using Brokerage is, I mean, it really just depends. I have multiple accounts, but charting system, what you're looking at right now is TC 2000. So even if it breaks down due to touch my bottom strike, I profit still and limit my loss. Maddie talking about options. Can you use the 9 SMA to identify strengths? So see, the thing is with an SMA, right, and a 9, right? And so let's talk about this. So when we're using an SMA, it actually creates a smoother price point. What does smoother mean? Smoother means that it's not as close to the trend. It gives it a little bit more room for the downside. Now, if we're using a 9 SMA, I don't like that because the 9 is supposed to stay really close to the trend. And what I want to do that is I want to weight the recent data more important than, let's say, data that is back on day 49 and 50, right? And so I don't really care about 49 days ago. I care more about the price action that was in the last 3 days. And that's why I use an EMA to tell me a little bit closer to that price trend. And it's not as smooth. Yes, this makes it really bounce around, but that's what you want to use. You want to use the comparison of something that is very speedy to something that is very slow and trending, like the 200-day or the 50 that will be a little bit faster, but nowhere near as fast as, let's say, a 9 EMA. All right, guys, let's keep going. Let's keep going. What's up out there? Mitch, if you have to use an MA indicator, what would it use? What would I use? An EMA? So the first one I'd like to use is a 200-day because there's so many traders that are going to look at a stock bullish or bearish based off that 200-day. Even you can do it on the SPY, right? I mean, look at the SPY 200-day moving average. Look at the 50-day. A lot of traders trade off the SPY, off the 50-day moving average, and you could use that 9 EMA to actually give you triggers on the long side. So I'm actually going to delete all my stuff here from the SPY here, just so you guys can see a trade that you guys could possibly be making using an EMA, right? And so there's 2 signals here. There's actually a signal to go short, and there's actually a signal to go long, right? And so when the EMA crosses the SMA 50, you could use that as a trading signal. So let's say if you went short here on the break of the line, you went short around 444s, you could take the profits when you started to see the 9 EMA turn and coming back. Now, of course, you want to be looking for profit targets towards the prior support or something like that. I use resistance and support to tell me price targets, but I can use the moving average to get my entry. So if I attack there, the 430s lows, I would have been taking some profit into that 430s. And then you actually get the reversal signal when you get through here. And then you could look for resistance to be your targets, right? You could have been looking for maybe the resistance here at 453s to be your target. This is how you can use the EMAs and the SMAs to actually trade off of them. And some people do use these. They're called moving average crossover trades. But it's always up to you guys to determine what you guys like. Benzinga Pro doesn't have EMA. Well, it's from Trading View. So if you need kind of to have SMAs, I definitely suggest having some charting software. All right, good stuff. Got sidetracked in my position a lot. Hey, no worries, Maddie. I would rather you pay attention to your position than worrying about what I'm talking about here. But just trying to teach some traders that are trying to learn some new things in trading. I use the 9 EMA for scalping. Yes, exactly. Exactly what it's used for a lot of the time. Why? It's going to be because the MACD indicator, a lot of that is that, because a lot of people use MACDs for intraday momentum kinds of trades. And that's what the MACD is. It's a momentum indicator. And so you can use different things here. For momentum, you can use moving averages. You can use MACD, or if you wanted, you could just go back and use maybe like an RSI to show you overbought and oversold. What's the most efficient method to backtest? Using backtest software. Literally. Just go back and make sure that you can use the software that best suits the data, because a lot of the backtesting is not going to give you an ability to code into it. So look for things like that that can help you with backtesting. And there's a lot out there for backtesting. What does it mean when the candles touch the EMA versus elevated above the EMA? So I think maybe reword that, but I think what you're talking about is when we kind of get rejections off of the candles and they come like the EMA is right below it. So let's kind of show here. So if we take a look here on the SPY, I think you're kind of talking about moments like this, where you're getting these kind of wicks to go through, but the moving average actually stays really close to the bodies of this trade. And so this is why price extremes are what wicks are. They're price extremes. They don't necessarily mean that you had a lot of trading going on this downtick. And so you got to be careful there when you're trying to use these. Look at the moving average to really show you the trend and how it caught the bid here. And there was definitely, some buying and selling that was going on in here, but it never closed there. And so as long as you don't get the close below the moving average, then it's still holding the trend. And so this is exactly what you get here. It's a little fake out candle. And that fake out candle could get you to be like, no, it's breaking down. But if you stuck to the 9 EMA, you could see it really start curving back above here. That just shows you that bullish trend. And then you could stay with it and look for the wicks. The same thing happens here, right? A wick, but the moving average stays there, showing you that it's still in a bullish trend. Right here is when we finally crack through the price point. Right here, you get a close below the price, the moving average. This shows us a bearish sign that you could get bearish move in the next couple of days. And what do you get? Bearish moves. Now the EMA slightly goes above, showing us that it's still in a bearish trend. And we're looking for the blue line to get below the price action to show us that it gets back into the bullish trend. Same thing that happens here. I'm just rolling sideways so that you guys can see how the 9 EMA moves here. All right, that's what's up. I hope you guys enjoyed that in the lesson there in SMA and EMA. Do you ever prefer trading strategies such as wheel or covered strangles, or do you day trade stocks for the most part? So really, Ernesto, I'm way more of a better swing trader than day trader. I've done day trading before. I've even held a trading room for a while. And did decent, but didn't see massive success like I've seen in swing trading. Swing trading, I've done awesome this year. I'm going to continue doing more swing trading as we get into the next year. So pay attention to that. You guys are going to see me sometimes take these what we call day trades and turn them into swing trades. That's how I really like to take them. I take them on the approach that, hey, if it does break the day trading pattern to the downside, I'll probably just get out of the trade. But if it can hold the pattern on the intraday, keep my daily outlook, then I'll go ahead and get it into a swing trade and look for that trade to get me the profits that I'm looking for, which is closer towards a 20% upside move and a 5% risk move. So we'll see what happens here, and we continue going into the next year. Right now, I have not been liking swing trading, so I'm just staying away from it and quickly just trying to take some profit. If I get it, I get it. If not, we keep moving on. I also use the MACD and also the RSI with a CCI. That's a good one. The RSI follows the CCI. Let's actually, you know what, Lisa? Lisa, I'll actually talk about the CCI coming up. So definitely that's one of the ones that most people don't know about it, the Commodities Channel Index. So if you guys don't know what CCI is, maybe look it up. What is backtesting? Backtesting is when you go ahead and test like a strategy. Like, let's say like here, if you were looking to see how many times does the SPY trade good if we traded off of this crossover, the 9 through the 50. So you could test their 9 EMA through the SMA 50, and then it goes back and it tests all of that data and tells you if it had a positive return. That's what backtesting is. And if you want to know more about backtesting, what's today? The one and only day where we have a show that does exactly that, backtesting. Go, guys, check out Christopher Udall. Christopher will be on at 4 p.m. today. So if you want to do some backtesting or you just don't have the program, stick around. You guys can ask him, and he actually does it live and shows you exactly what he does. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep it going. Smash up them likes. Best technical analysis lesson I've ever heard. Eden, I don't think that was the best one, maybe, but I appreciate you being nice. Smash the like. Let's keep going, guys. Like how you and I watched the 1 hour before I scalp. Wow. You guys don't know how smart Lisa really is here by saying that. The hourly chart is just something that bigger traders use, guys. Bigger traders are going to use the hourly chart because it's going to get out all those day traders, right? The day traders will show you that, hey, this actually looks like what? It looked bullish on the 5 minute for a second there, and it is now actually looking very bearish for Apple. Because if you look at the 1 hour, what does this show me? This shows me a head and shoulders pattern. So you got the left shoulder right here. You got the right shoulder right here, just created it. And now you're looking for it to kind of hold that head. So if you see, this is the head here up, and we could break down through the neckline, which is this 173.93. And look how we held that, got above it, and now holding that on the breakdown. We'll see if it takes out the lows here and goes to the 173. So Apple actually wasn't a bad trade today on the downside. You could see here the 9 EMA, how it kept with the trend even when it started popping up. But look how the 200-day stayed above it, showing you what? The trend was still bearish here. And so that's what I would have used to show me that flip. And you could have been using that to trade off of instead of the VWAP. Whatever you see works is what's important. All right, guys, let's go. Let's go. Swing trading lessons is, I would say it's for swing trading, it's all about three things. The three things that I teach in Money Mitch. So it's about learning story, fundamentals, and technicals, not just one. Because if we go off of one, that's what we normally do in day trading. And that to me isn't as profitable as when we do it in swing trading and we're looking more into the story the catalyst? What are the analysts saying? Are they raising price targets? What's the PE on the stock? What are the technicals pointing to? Do the technicals point to the upside? Because sometimes you might find that a stock has an awesome story, great fundamentals, but the technicals, what do they point? To the downside. So you got to be careful with those. I like to align up 3 variables with my swing trades so I can have high conviction in the trade. Typically, how long are you in your swings? So that really just depends on the stock, but a lot of the times it's about a week that I'm into these, because a lot of times I'm also using weekly charts. So you want to use a time frame that you kind of want to trade, and I use that often. Like let's say this OSTK, and we kind of did a quick rejection of this one. This was an actually interesting pattern that it's breaking down now. But let's say we were trading this one. A lot of the times I'm going to hold for about a week, because if you look here, you start getting these kind of moves. One thing I have noticed, though, is that 3-week trends are really nice. When you get those breakouts, a lot of times you can even get a 3-week trend. And so it really all just depends on the chart itself. I would pay attention to the chart versus more about giving myself a strict time frame on the trade, but also understand that if you're looking on the daily and you see a daily bullish move, but then it cracks, like let's say here, it was holding bullish, right? And then it cracks this daily low here, and it starts going through that $100 price point, which is a mental price point. This is when you have to go ahead and understand that, hey, all right, so I'm trading off the daily pattern broke, so I need to get out. But if I was trading off the weekly and the weekly pattern held there, then I could stay in the trade. But other than that, look, this broke the weekly too, so I'm out. And that's what you want to be looking at, guys. Look at your time frames, understand that. All right, guys, so I'm going to go back to the market, overall market here. Let's take a look, see what is moving today and what is going on in the overall market. Looks like everything is going into the red except utilities today. I was talking about it on Money Mitch. I wanted to watch 2 stocks. So 2 of the stocks were DUK. Look at that. Nice day today. This would be more of my swing trade, guys. So look how this daily look coexist with a nice little push here. I was calling this one out for a potential swing trade. Why? Because we got back above 100, held that 100 pullback. I like the push here through that 102. So you could have been looking for an inside day here. Now we get through that inside day 103.50s, and you're holding towards the support down here right underneath it towards that 102.50 and looking for a continued move up to 105. This is an interesting one. Another one that I take a look at is POR. I'm also liking this one. This is kind of more of a swing trade stock, slower moving. You don't have to worry so much about the risk. And I would look for it to come out and try to take out this high here. So this high here is by 51.50s. Look for it to take that out. If it does, it could continue moving to 52 and maybe even 55 on the up move. All right, guys, so that's utilities. Let's take a look at consumer defensives today. Not having the best day at all here. Definitely struggling. If you guys got stocks to take a look at, definitely throw them up in the chat. This is the time where I'm going to do the final reviews as we get about 15 minutes left into Benzinga Live. So Benzinga Live will be starting at 11:30, guys. All right, guys, let's go ahead. Let's look at consumer defensives. What did good in consumer defensives today? So if we look at confectionaries, so looking for the candy is doing well today. Mondelez doing decent today, up about 1%. These are not bad ones to look. You've seen 3-day push and then a hold above this resistance. I would look for that resistance really to hold on any pullbacks. And you can see how we got above there, held it on the pullback, pushed on up MDLZ. Trying to take out 65. We'll see if that one can keep going. Hershey's doing well today. So definitely be careful with these defensive names, but they do usually do well when the market's struggling. Look at the Tootsie Roll. The Tootsie Roll getting a move. I remember when this stock was going crazy. It was just that Tootsie Roll. Come on, get it. That Tootsie Roll. Oh man, I remember a lot of memes out of this one. So we'll see if this can continue the trend. What I would draw is an uptrend on the daily, connect that trend line that you had that pullback, and look for it to continue through the high. So as long as it can continue through that 39.20, it's still in the uptrend. We'll see if it continues to move. Real estate doing okay today. A couple of industries in the red, a couple of industries in the green. Nothing too crazy here. Let me see what was the best stock. BRG, Blue Rock. Blue Rock looks like it's trying to catch the support there off the 14. Really did do a nice little reversal move there. We'll see if this one can hold that 1379, get back on up there towards 15s and try to take out the highs there. We'll see if this is not a bad one. It's real estate, residential growth, REIT. Definitely caught a bid today at 14. If it breaks 14 on the downside, I would look for a bearish move. Hold the 14, could come back up towards resistance. All right, going to keep going. Healthcare stocks. Drug manufacturers doing great today. Lilly up 7%. Sorry that we didn't stay on these. We talked about them early, but we didn't stay on it. Look at this healthcare stock. Really nice move there. And Eli Lilly. PFE, also a nice day today. ABBV. You can look at BMY. Also good charts. SNY. AZN was wondering if this was going to get bullish. This one's actually trading in a bearish trend longer term, and it looked like it was actually trading down here at the open. The question is, do we get a push back on up? I'd keep an eye out on this one. It could get a lift. All right, keeping going to financial services. Really, I mean, specialty finance getting drilled here, guys, as of recent. And it came in at the close yesterday. What are we going to see here really getting hit? UWMC Holdings, United Holdings, definitely getting destroyed. Is Rocket getting destroyed too? Yep, Rocket getting destroyed too. I definitely stay away from these like the plague. I think they're some of the worst stocks out there, so just be careful out there, guys. Mitch, what do you think about Dash for a swing? I'll go ahead and I'll take a look at that. The excellent trade. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the love. All right, let's go ahead. Let's take a look at Dash. All right, Dash, let's take a look here. What are we seeing? We're seeing a pull back here. Let's take a look on the daily. One thing about this one, though, is look how hard you got this downturn in the daily. Now you're actually below the 200-day, right? So a lot of the times I'm going to try to come back to the education we did on the show. So 200-day average for me, now you're in a bearish trend in this name, and you need to get back above 170 for even it to look bullish. So to me, I think you do more like an undercut and rally here. You're probably coming down towards 130, 110s, and then coming back towards 170. I wouldn't trade this bullish. I'd probably be trading this more bearish on pop-ups. So like we saw here, how the 200-day was hanging out above the 170. You could have been shorting maybe 170 off of the 180s there, and then looking for it to come back down through the 150, which was this low. And so you're looking for it to take out this low. So maybe you got short there around the 170s, and you're looking for it to take out the 149. Today, we actually wicked through that. You want to see it close below that. And so to me, Dash right now isn't really the biggest upside look for me, but it's always about what you want to take. Very helpful. I've taken plenty of notes today. Amazing. This broadcast is for free. Smash the like button, guys. They really help us, and we got to help them. And you couldn't say it better, Ashton. I think too many times people on YouTube, they say smash the like. They do all this kind of stuff, guys. But really, it's a gift that I'm trying to give you guys by going through this stuff. And if you guys can support us, and just by giving us that like button, that's definitely going to support us keep going and pushing through. I'm going to be that guy that you guys want, right? You know, anytime you guys need a question or just want to talk about some stocks, you guys can always reach out to me at Story Investors, whether it's after hours, before the market. I get traders all the time in this chat room that ask me about trades, and I take a look at them for them. At the end of the day, not investment advice, but I definitely will help you guys try to keep going in your goals. All right, guys. Smash the thumbs up. Let's keep going. I see NVIDIA being talked about in the chat, Palantir, a lot of stocks. So I'm going to roll with some of those from the chat. You guys do me the favor, smash that like. The Bears are blowing. Yeah, the Bears are definitely blowing out there. Looks like we got over 400 likes today. I appreciate the love, just like I love out there, man. Much love out there. Let's keep going. All right, so what is our worst sector today? Worst sector is consumer cyclicals. And what is doing the worst? Luxury goods. So luxury goods, look for stocks to really be struggling, like CTHR. Look at that turnaround. I would look at the daily chart on this, and I would draw a trend line. I'd actually go to the weekly to give me a little bit of a nicer look here for my trend line. So I'm seeing this, right? We're cracking through here. We want to look at the chart, see what you see as support, and see if you're getting through that level. So 250 really on the downside here for CTHR. And you could also take a look, Fossil. Fossil is actually one that I called out on this spike. And look how since that moment, it just went back down, back down, back down. When you break through that support, like 1150, look for those bounce ups to get maybe potentially short. And you're seeing a big breakdown in Fossil. I think you'll see the same thing in SIG also. And for that being mentioned, Movado also probably taking a hit. And a lot of these kind of high, expensive luxury goods taking the hit. All right, catching up with the chat. Now time to go through some of these. I saw Palantir being mentioned, Disney being mentioned. So let's go through some of those. Palantir coming down towards 1823. Really didn't find the bounce that I wanted to see in Palantir. I wanted to see a bounce get back above 20. It didn't get into the circle. So what are we going to do? It's still in the bearish trend for me. Until it gets into this circle, I'm not going to be thinking about this stock as a bullish trend. I'm going to be thinking about it as a bearish trend as we've cracked the major support of 20, and we're looking to break another support, which is right here at 1820s or $18, you can say. And if it breaks that, it could head down to 16, and even for that matter, down to 10. All right, let's keep going. Let's look at some other ones here. Disney being mentioned in the chat. I'll go into Disney. Disney did not want to hold that 150. So if it can't hold the 145s on downtrends, you got to be careful with this one. It's okay to dip your toes in Disney because it doesn't move massively. Like if you look at the average true range, I'm thinking it's like about $1 a day or $2 a day. So you can at least understand your risk a little bit better. But definitely it's still in a downtrend, guys. And if we look at the daily, look how far the 200-day is from the price action right now. That is really bad, guys. 50-day above it, 200-day above it. All the moving averages are slightly above it. That shows you very bearish trend. Let's get these moving averages to come back. Then we can look at it Disney for the long side. Let's go. Tootsie Roll. All right. What other stocks are being mentioned? SoFi being mentioned on this one. I'm expecting downtrend, guys. I hate to be sounding so negative, but to me, SoFi looks like it wants to break to 12 and 10. I just don't want to see people get caught underneath that 1394. It was a support. It needs to hold this support. Maybe you can even draw it to this wick here, so 1359. But if it breaks that, I would really be careful with SoFi because you could have another one that goes down below $10 as it is a SPAC, and a lot of these ended up making a move just like this. All right, Mitch has great energy. I can use some buttery lobster myself, man. I'm starting to get hungry here. So the energy's starting to die down, but let's keep it going. Merry Christmas indeed, my friend. Merry Christmas indeed. Let's do a little dancing Santas here. I gotta have my dancing Santas. So do. Merry Christmas, guys. My birthday is Saturday, just to give you guys heads up. Let's enjoy the day, guys. Let's do it. All right, guys. So definitely, guys, I want to see people, of course, making all the money that they can. But the truth is, it's going to be hard. We're going to make some stacks here, but we need to battle and keep in the fight. But what I want to see is you guys being able to get into the king chair, fighting through everything. And when you guys do, flex. It's okay. Flex on them. When you see those good trades, I got no problem, guys. You guys have no fear and flex on. Appreciate the love, guys. Let's keep it going. Where does Benzinga get live industry-wise live data? How many minutes are delayed? So Benzinga Pro is live data, 100% live data. But I mean, what you're seeing here, I mean, I might be delayed a little bit, but it shouldn't be much. It should be like maybe a minute or two. It's hard today. I made 2% on the day trading, and my other trade isn't looking good at all. Well, one thing I will tell you guys, especially for day traders, you have to know when to call it quits. Know when your patterns are working, know when they're not. We talked about this earlier in the day with journaling your trades. So I'll kind of key back to what Ryan said. And if you're having trouble out there, really go back, take the time, the effort. And I know it can be very easy to be lazy. Take your trades, come in the next day, and just try to repeat the system without taking the data. Stop being lazy out there. If you are the person that needs this right now, listen in, replay this if you need to. Take that data. Let's keep going, guys. Want to go ahead and take a look here. NUE being mentioned in the chat. Let's take a look. I did see Steele was having trouble, and you can see here right out the gates. Look at that. Nice trade there. A nice call out there on NUE. Look at that little fade there. Really hard downturn and hasn't even come back. Went down from about 115 to 106 and even broke pre-market from 119. So crazy trades there. So we'll definitely be paying attention. All right, guys, we're going to get you over to Benzinga Live next, guys. You got Spencer Israel, AB, probably taking some options trade. My man AB learning the game. Can't go wrong. He does pretty good on some of them. I can't blame him. Sometimes I'm like, what? AB got a 200% winner? I want to take a look. Which one was it? It happens. It happens. We all do it. Appreciate the super sticker, Manny. I hope you guys appreciated today's stream. And we're going to keep battling here and trading. And like always, guys, I want you guys out there doing the best. Sometimes we're going to have to just burn the trade. Just get that trade and just burn it, because sometimes it's not going to match up and the patterns won't match up to the intraday. And that's what happened today. Hey, end of the day, red. Yesterday was green on MasterCard. Probably could have been green if I shorted MasterCard today. And I'll go ahead and learn from that. I hope you guys out there learned. So smash that like button. We're going to go ahead and call it quits here right now. Up next, you got Benzinga Live, guys. I want you guys definitely to check that out and smash the like button. Up next, you guys will enjoy that. And like always, if you haven't done so already, guys, check out Benzinga Pro so that you can get a chance to beat the market.
When you want to maximize your performance in the market, you need access to the highest quality tools and news available. Benzinga Pro stands out from all of the options you'll be presented with, and their instant access to market-moving news positions you to be prepared to take on the market in the best ways possible. Here's how it works. Benzinga Pro's news desk creates original news content that's available on your main news feed and gives you actionable information about companies you may want to invest in. This news desk information gives you the chance to beat the market, receive impactful news as it breaks, and jump on trending stocks before and as they rise. And beyond that, Benzinga Pro is packed with helpful features and unique insights that give you the best information possible. There's tools like the Live Audio Squawk, which streams every day with important news and timely updates, and the real-time news alerts that allow you to stay on top of every developing story you're keeping tabs on. Alerts and news will be sent straight to your inbox or delivered as live sound alerts. For those investors that want real-time, actionable, and breaking news about companies they may be looking to invest in, Benzinga Pro is the tool to use.
All right, traders, before I get on out of here, I did want to let you guys know I am doing something a little bit different. I have been going live on TikTok, on our Benzinga TikTok at 1 p.m. Eastern. So if you, for some reason, want to talk to Money Mitch, go over to our TikTok on Benzinga. If you want to look for it, you can also look at the description. Should be able to find that in there. If not, I need to go ahead and add it in there. But you could also just look up Benzinga on TikTok. You'll be able to find it, and I'll be going live at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Smash the thumbs up. Up next is Benzinga Live, and I hope you guys have a great trading day. Be careful whether you're short, long. We always want success for you guys, but like always, success comes from process, not from being lucky. So that's what we try to teach here on Benzinga Live, and we'll see you next time, guys. Keep trading out there. keep battling. It's not always going to be green. So control the risk, and let's go ahead and keep on trading.